Hello, everyone, and welcome to 34 Quarantine Night with myself, Claudio Capri, and co-producer and comedian Peter Bowen. We're both the ones who run 34. And tonight, we're joined with Joe Rossi, Anthony Calabresi, Anita Bira, Dave Magini, and we're just going to be having a great night. So for those of you who do not know what's going on, these are the amazing people, Lonely Path Films, who have made an awesome film called Nightshift, and I was one of the goons in that film. And these are amazing people. So we're going to be talking tonight about movies. We're going to be talking tonight about Nightshift, and we're going to be crapping on some films that were like, why are they made and why do these people exist? So to start off, how's everyone doing tonight?
Good.
Fine, thank you. Good.
Good. And
I have to say, and Peter, I love that countdown. The music, the countdown.
We're trying to make it as epic as we can. Just before we continue, we've got a few people in the chat. We've got Jess Sorrell all the way from Australia. We've got Raimundo Alfano and Melanie Azaf. Melanie, she's on the 34 as well. So everyone is here. This is on YouTube. And then we got a few people on Facebook. So hello, everyone. So let's just get down to it, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm gonna make this. Oh fuck! I don't know how I should phrase this question.
Good.
So
you good. You got it. I believe in you.
I got it, Peter. I got it. So why Nightshift, and what made you all decide to make the film?
And congratulations on your award.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you very much.
Congratulations. Whichever one.
Well, after the engagement, I had written a short script about a mobster working at night. It basically juxtaposed. It was basically like a mobster going to work. His everyday job is going to work, cleaning up the mess of other mobsters, then going back home to his family. I gave that to Anthony after we shot the engagement, and then Anthony turned it to what we have today. Anthony.
Yeah, so we were working on the engagement feature, and we're working on an application, and so we did a couple of these short films that were completely different from Nightshift, and I was just thinking, maybe we should take a look at it and get that one in the bag as we were working on the engagement, and the crew agreed. We all worked together to make this short film. And in retrospect, I'm glad that we ended up agreeing to do it because we did it. I think it wasn't easy. It took a lot of work just to get the film done. And I think usually like when we end up filming these shorts, it ends up being in October, or like early November. And then I think we went past the date, maybe the first week of November. After that, I think
we shot the first week of November in a 2-day span of heat, cold, snow, rain. I think all in 2 days basically. The gamut of weather.
Wow.
And it was nerve-wracking because it's in November it's unpredictable weather, but it was the only time I think that the main actors were available, like Tony Calabretta, Massimo in particular, Guido Grasso. They had some time. I think that during that particular, I think first or second week of November, and we got it done, and then like the bulk of it done, and then the pandemic hit, and it was like, oh my God, I'm still like, it was. I was happy that we did that project because I knew that after the pandemic hit, it would be a while before we do something else. And but the film wasn't completed, and we had to wait for certain things to open up before we can get certain shots, into the film. But that's basically what happened, and we got it done, and we managed to pull it off, and here we are.
Nice. And Dave and Anita, your takes on this and how the process you both went through?
I'll let Anita go first.
I blocked it out. No, it was pretty interesting because we normally do very sort of like dialogue-driven films historically. And this was really, I think, the first one that was like, gritty, and there was like silence, and there was a message in the, actions of the actors. Like really, like that's where the message was, kind of thing. And so it was a different experience, just watching everybody work, and even just. And I think maybe like Joey and David can attest to this as the directors. But when you're directing somebody where it's not dialogue based, and you're like, well, this is what you have to do to like convey this feeling, it's a whole different sort of dynamic. And so it was just it was interesting to watch that, and it was interesting to like be part of this kind of project. And I think for like a first time gritty film, I think we surprised ourselves.
Nice, awesome.
I
And
mean, I don't want to speak for everybody, but that's what I think.
awesome. And what made you guys, now talking about the actors, like how did you all choose your actors?
Dave.
Can I start?
Yeah, go ahead, Anthony.
Trevor.
Yeah, so so for the engagement, I was thinking about Massimo for the male lead in the short, but it didn't happen. And I always had him in mind for like a number of roles, and it just, for whatever reason, it didn't work out. And I remember seeing him. I saw him do stand up with Sugar Sammy, and he's so funny. And I think it was at the Olympia Theater. And I went with family and friends, and I didn't know he was actually he was there. I didn't know he was there, and he happened to be there, and he did his whole thing, and he did really well. He was funny, but also like there's also like he's funny, but at the same time it's that sort of that serious tone that he takes with when he does his skit. He does like this. There's like a serious act where I thought was funny, which I thought was funny, but I also thought, hey, this guy could be good playing, like intimidating serious roles. And I saw him again in a couple of films. One in particular was X-Men: Days of Future Past, I think it's called, right?
Yeah.
And he played like a mobster role. And then I thought, okay, like he would be really good in that type of role. And so I had him in mind, and Nightshift came along, and he said yes. The timing was right, and and then that's why he was cast as the main character. But also Guido Grasso. I saw him do his thing as well as a stand-up comedian, and but I also thought he could play a menacing type character. So I thought he would be good for that type of role. And Calabretta, he was always on my mind for various roles. That's why he was in the engagement. And I just always have him in mind for, any role that fits his his style, I guess. And it ended up working out with those three in particular. I don't want to take up too much time, but I for the others, but I just want to say Dale Hayes and Julie Barbeau as well. Like, I mean, I initially didn't have them in mind for the supporting roles or the female lead for Julie Barbeau, but I got lucky, and it was perfect timing. I met Julie Barbeau at a film festival. And just before that, I saw her on Instagram, and I saw a couple of things that she did via Instagram. She was just sort of showcasing her work, and I remember showing my wife a couple of things, and she liked her as well. And my wife pointed her out at the film festival, and we ended up talking. I ended up talking to her, and after that, I asked her if she wanted to play the role opposite Massimo, and she said, "Send me the script, let me know," and that was a done deal. And Dale Hayes as well.
Same broken foot. Wasn't her foot in the cast when she did it?
Yes, her foot was in a cast when I saw her. Yes, and she was at that film. I forget where she was supposed to be at another film festival, but because of me, she ended up staying at the festival that I was at, and we just talked about the film, and and it worked out. And Dale Hayes, by the way, she was my teaching instructor at the Montreal MSOPA theater when it was at the church. You guys remember MSOPA being at the church? It was on the carry.
Yeah,
Really?
the carry above the Korean church.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
and Dale
That's
Hayes,
what you're saying about the Rosamond and stuff.
She was Joe's partner for many years.
and so I always wanted to work with her, and it just ended up working out that she was available for the role of the mentor, the one that basically gets the owner of the florist shop, and so it worked out well with her.
Awesome. Okay. Yeah. By the way, Melanie Azaf says MSOPA represent. Cool. So you're a fan. Okay. So anyone else with the cast decision?
Well, actually, the casting, the cast was pretty much what
There
Anthony
was
said.
one we really had our eye on.
Exactly.
Okay.
Actually, but what I thought what we did really well was the first film that we actually used extensive makeup. Like we actually paid attention to actually the makeup, and I think that's what sets this one apart. I mean, we had a makeup artist that was Phil, our sound guy's referral, right? Sophie. Yeah. Our sound guy Phil referred Sophie Richard, and she did a makeup job that was really, really cool. I mean, on all of them, it was really, really nice.
Awesome. Okay.
It was the first time dealing with that.
Awesome. And just before we continue, I just want to, so those people that are watching, where can they find the article about Nightshift? Like where is it published so people can, find it and read it?
Well, look at the Lonely Paths on Facebook. The Lonely Path Films on Facebook. You can see all the articles that were published in the last month, and the links are all there.
All right, perfect. No, I even put it in the description on the YouTube page so people could just click on Lonely Path Films and you can get it over there. No problem. So So Anita's saying, Dave, your mic is still muted.
Am I? Is it?
Okay, no, never mind. Okay, no,
go,
it's too late.
No, you were. I saw you mouthing something into the camera.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
But you're not supposed to reveal that.
Listen, well, but no. So I said, just go on YouTube and there's a link for their Facebook and Instagram, and just read it there, and you could find the articles about Nightshift and the awards that they're winning, and that's great. All right, so now let's go into the main topics, folks.
Wait, before that.
Yes,
do you guys have like a blooper reel? A reel? Like
No,
you don't want it. Okay, you're like.
No.
He was like, let it just maybe a masterpiece. No.
Oh, wait, no, because I was gonna ask. Do you guys still have the ones where I was dying of laughter and Massimo was choking me?
It's all gone. That is gone.
It's all in my head, though. I was right above you when that was happening. It was hilarious.
This was the only film. I think this is one of the films that we barely had any blooper reels because most of us were too stressed and too aggravated while we're making this movie.
Exactly, and I remember like Anthony was near me, and he goes, "Hey, careful of your head, It's like my head was here, and let's just say like added focus. This is where the what was it? Was the table was? I was far away. He goes, "Hey, careful, you're gonna hit your head," and I'm like, what are you talking about?
You were. But the other thing that I was saying was I kept telling Massimo, tell him to stop smiling.
No, because there's a reason. Okay, to this day, there's a reason why I was laughing. It's because I think it was like a week or two before Massimo was on a show, right? And I said something. I'm like something along the lines of, "Hey, so how does it feel being killed by Hugh Jackman?" And then he goes, fuck!" Like every time I get him, right? And then one day he turns to me, he goes, "Bro, I'm gonna put my hands around your neck." And I'm like, "Oh!"
And he got his chance.
So that's why I was laughing. But then I was telling everyone, but everyone thought it was crazy. But that's why it was hilarious.
Actually, but that stuff at the bar, I think was the only section of the shoot that actually went smooth. If you think about
yeah.
it, yeah, that the bar stuff went really, really well. It was the church stuff that we're losing our minds because we shot outside first in a blizzard.
Oh, that's
We go
No, it
inside.
snowed. It literally snowed for 3 minutes.
Yeah, but all our shots had snow in them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Then we shot inside, came back outside. It was a sunny, bloody day.
Yeah.
Gone.
There were like intermittent flurries that day, and like every time we go inside, they stop, and then every time we go back outside, it would pick up, and it would be super windy, and the snowflakes, I swear, were like this big.
Yeah.
And they just
And then
kept
it
like,
became sunny like 5 minutes later, like the sun was glaring, and
Yeah.
I'm just like, Jesus Christ, we're not
Yeah.
gonna get anything
they
today.
were like, let's not even bother just like shooting strategically anymore. It's not
Can't.
gonna change anything. Just shoot.
Yeah.
And then you
Just
go-
make do.
Yeah,
Or
but
like
just
you're supposed to be wet.
Just to bounce off what Joy said, the bar stuff was the easy stuff. Because obviously we don't have permits to close the streets and everything, but where we were at on Dante, it was very like nerve wracking. Because for us, it's like business unusual on set, but then it was like the shit started to happen, and I was like, "Oh God, we're not gonna get anything today." So,
Oh man, no, it was it was fun. It was fun, but no. See, next time, just invite Peter. He'll make sure the streets will be closed, and no one's gonna bother you guys.
I don't know if I have this power. I don't.
I don't know. First time for everything.
Claudio, by the way, did you guys see this? Julie Barbeau, my first lead
She got
role
she got a big gig.
yeah,
in a new Quebec TV show, 4
Yes.
episodes, January 2021.
No. She told me about this, and she
Right.
spoke to me
You
about
guys
it.
see
Yeah,
that?
we
No.
see it.
we see it.
Oh yeah, I see.
She spoke to me about it. I'm like, oh, damn, all right. And, I kept it secret for her, but she just said it out loud. I'm like, all right, well, secret's out now. I'm not going to keep it hidden anymore. But no, good for her, honestly.
Yeah, congrats.
Congrats on her. And she did a magnificent job playing Massimo's opposite.
I mean that this role is what shot her up to stardom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What shot her up to stardom. But no, she was so good to work with. Like, congratulations to her. But I'm not
Yeah.
even surprised. Like, she was awesome.
No, it's like she was always in these commercials. That's why when Anthony said that's Julie Barbeau, I
Right,
know she was.
exactly.
And I always saw her on commercials at Cineplex. At the beginning of the movie, there was commercials about a medical condition or something, and she was the nurse.
Oh, shit. Yes, I remember.
And it played for like 3-4 months straight, before every show. So that's why I'm like, that's the girl. That's the lady she was the nurse in those ads.
And then you cast her as a nurse again.
Yeah. That's
Oh
it.
yeah, she was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay, she was a nurse. So she was a nurse. I thought it was me going crazy because I asked her. I'm like, yeah. So you so it looks like you play a nurse, and she goes, I am a nurse.
Yeah.
Wow.
No,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, sometimes it's good to do that because then you see a familiar face and you're like, where have I seen that face before? She's kind of playing. It's not exactly the same, the same thing, but people sort of, they kind of connect the dots, and it always helps,
Yeah. But what kind of? But at which hospital did she work at in the film?
We're in St. Leonard. We're in St. Leonard. What's the closest?
What's the closest? Santa Cabrini.
Oh dear God!
Don't go there now.
No, go-
Don't go there. Don't
no.
really. I had to go there to go visit a friend, but then as soon as I saw this news, I'm like, I'm not going and visit my friend anymore. No, screw that.
That's done.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
Yeah. Sorry about that, guys. All right, so let's go. Oh, by the way, Kezia has dropped in. Hello, Kezia. How are you? Just before I continue, I just want to say, give a thumbs up and subscribe to the Dirty Four, and also subscribe to the Lonely Path Films. You could see it at the bottom. There's like information of where you can reach the Lonely Path Films as well. Just subscribe to them. They're local filmmakers from Montreal and Laval and all around Montreal.
And watch your stuff. Watch your stuff too.
Exactly. Watch your stuff. It's really important, because you know what? Because we need local filmmakers to tell local stories. All right. So, Peter, you want to go into asking about bad movies and good movies questions?
Oh,
bad
God.
movies. Actually, I was gonna talk more. I was gonna actually to talk more like, let's say like I went to like San Diego Comic-Con, and then I found out it's kind of like easy to meet like stars and like filmmakers and people in the back. So like before COVID, when I don't know if you guys ever been to like TIFF or any of those. Like, was it easy to like meet? Okay, no, you never been to.
I've been to TIFF once, and I've been to the Montreal Film Festival when it was actually a large film festival in my early 20s. And
I went there too.
yeah, was it easy to meet people at the film festival? Yeah, at the Montreal one, because there was a section just for people who were making films. There was a film forum, there was a film market, and you could have spoke to anybody. If you guys remember, there was a movie a couple years ago that the actor died. It was a movie with Helen Mirren called 100-Foot Journey. I think, Dave, you remember that? Where she has the French restaurant across the street from the Indian restaurant. Well, the Indian guy, Ampuri, he was at Montreal, and I actually had spoken to him a good like 5-10 minute conversation because I thought he was fantastic. He was in a movie, The Ghost in the Darkness, with Val Kilmer and Michael Douglas. I was like, I remember you from that movie. I'm like, yeah, I did that movie with Mike Douglas. So that was it. Yeah, so it was easy.
Yeah. Okay, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, I've never had like I say, I've never been to TIFF, but I've been to a couple of film festivals, and I went to one in particular one time, and I did meet a few people that were in the business, and so when you go to these things, that's why you also make these films, short films, feature films. You do them to try and make a name for yourself, but also to try and connect with people in the industry. And I was able to at times connect with people who are actually in the industry, and so it does happen. And I guess that's how it works to some extent. You end up making a film, and then you're able to get into a circle, and then you can network, and then things happen from there or not.
Yeah, whichever it is. Yeah, flip that coin. Yeah, no, it seemed like interesting. I'd never been to. I was invited to. I was supposed to go like last year, but I was like, next year, and then 2020. But whatever.
Well, you went to Comic-Con. Who'd you meet at Comic-Con? Did you meet anybody?
Just like I accidentally bumped into Danny DeVito. Like he was just like I just bumped him. I was like, oh, sorry, sir. He's like, oh, no problem. I'm like, oh shit, it's you, man. Yeah, I just like bumped into, like I was in the hallway and I just bumped into him. I'm like, oh, sorry, sir. He's like, oh, no problem. I was like, hey, what the fuck is you, man? But yeah, a couple of artists from like DC Comics and stuff like that. I actually met one guy that like apparently his company dubbed all the anime. He was the first to dub all the anime in Canada. So I was like, cool. it was just interesting to see like just a bunch of guys like that, and they're just like relaxed, chilling, nothing.
Yeah, but I don't think most of us can afford like to experience Comic-Con as like everybody else, unless you have like money to burn. It's like to get inside the panels. It just doesn't make sense how much.
They really are. They really are. Because I'm like, because actually, even for this podcast, I'm like, for next year, I wonder how much it is for having our podcast at one of these conventions. And I'm like, yeah, no, we're not. No.
It depends.
Sorry, go ahead. Peter, sorry.
No. Well, it depends which one. Like, I don't know about the Montreal one. Now I hear it's starting to get expensive. The San Diego one is like, it's not only is it expensive, it was just hard to get in, even to get the tickets. I think you had to like. It was pretty much like a race. Like whoever gets it, and that's it. Like you couldn't. Yeah. There was no guaranteed tickets.
No, the Montreal one has gotten expensive. When my oldest was young, for kids it was actually a pretty good price. As soon as he turned I think 16, the price shoots up like over $50 to get in.
Yeah,
and you can't. Let's say like Patrick Stewart was there. You can't see Patrick Stewart unless you pay see Patrick
$10.
Stewart.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
So
But the nice thing is sometimes you'll get a celebrity like Ray Park, who played Darth Maul and Toad in X-Men. He always walks around taking pictures with the crowd.
Oh yeah, no, I remember
at least that.
Yeah, no, I remember because my cousin went to Comic-Con. He bumped into Ray Park, but the thing is, he didn't know that he bumped into Ray Park himself. He goes, "Hey, you're familiar." But then, like his friend, who was I don't know how he got drunk before he got in, goes up to Ray Park, goes, "Hey, bah!" Like sticks out his tongue. He goes, "Guess what I'm doing, man?" And then Ray Park is like, "Gee, I don't know what." And my cousin's like, are you like, why are you sticking your tongue out? Like, do you love him? Never question him. And then Ray Park just got embarrassed and walked away. So as soon as he walked away, my cousin's like, oh, Toad, you were Toad. And then his drunk friend was like, he played a character in X-Men? You know?
Yeah,
and then I'm like,
he's
wow.
5'2". He's 5'3". He's not tall.
Exactly.
Everyone thinks he's huge. He's not.
Yeah, I know. But Ray Park is a good actor, though. And you know what? I don't care what anyone says. Darth Maul is one of my favorite Star Wars characters. All right? So fight me on that.
Oh,
I
would.
Just like someone here is going to say, hey, I enjoyed Capone.
Whoa, hold on.
Capone's good. He's all right.
I didn't hate it. Just to finish off about the Comic-Con, I went to 2 years ago to Montreal Comic-Con to take a picture with Jason Momoa.
Oh,
it was $200. I said, screw that.
Whoa!
What?
Yeah.
$200?
But David, he started your favorite movie that year, Aquaman.
I'll start doing Photoshop right then. I'm like, all right, I'm good, man. I'm like, I ain't trying
Peter, next year. Yeah. All right, Peter, next year, what we'll do is we'll go Comic-Con and then we'll just like stand like 2 feet apart and then we'll just go Photoshop. We'll take a random celebrity that has nothing to do with it. Like, yeah, guys, just take a picture with Danny DeVito. All right. and then we'll sell it. Oh man, man.
No,
so,
it's good.
Yeah.
But it's cool. Like obviously Montreal's gonna get. I think it's gonna get to the size of like New York's and San Diego's ones. But like in San Diego, like the whole city was just like it was like the main convention. Then you had like random buildings or restaurants where it'd be like other stars. So I remember like there was an after party and well, like I didn't know I didn't know they were there, but I was walking and there was like a group from Once Upon a Time on ABC. I don't know if you know that show. Yeah. Once Upon a Time. Yeah. So it was so around these random girls like, yeah, come on, photo bomb. I'm like, okay, that's cool. Then I saw Ron Jeremy coming out and he was just puking all over the place. I was like, oh, I was like, what the heck is it? Oh, it's Ron Jeremy.
Isn't he in jail now, or he's
going to jail?
Yeah, he's going to jail. Apparently, sexual harassment.
Yeah, he was doing vegan porn.
Yeah, that's what got him, man. That's what got him. Yeah.
Oh man, it's actually because I have a joke with Massimo. I'm like, like whenever we go to these party events, right? I'm like, Massimo, you're gonna be the one that's gonna be messed up and drunk, and you're gonna be saying stupid stuff. He goes, no, what are you talking about? Meanwhile, he's like shoving a 6-pack like down his throat before we did a show, and then I'm like, I see Massimo's always a drunk one coming up, so he literally goes out and he goes, hey guys, it's this guy's birthday. It was my birthday. He goes, this guy's awesome, and then Massimo's about to puke, and I'm like, oh Jesus Christ.
Is he still in Florida?
Yeah, he's in Florida. Yeah.
What? Why? He lives there.
Okay, so it's a beautiful story. I have no idea, but it's a beautiful story because he got married, and Massimo and Mary don't go well together. And so now he's in Florida. I do not know when he's going to come back, but I think once he mentioned I'm going to go to Florida. So I don't know. I don't know what the situation is with that.
I think he's working. He's working there.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I remember him telling me. But
okay, I thought it was stuck there because of the whole situation. He can't come back.
Yeah, he started working there and then he got stuck. And I don't know what I'm assuming he's still working.
Hopefully, because right now there's like a lot of good heat on him right now. So I'm like, you know what? It'll be kind of like, well, I don't know what to say. Like, it'll be kind of like, I hope he comes back. So this hype could continue because Massimo's here,
Well, hopefully.
All right, hopefully. So, all right. So now Peter is going to come back because he's having problems with his connection in his life. So now I want to go. So, what are your favorite mob movies? Everyone in here.
David, let's go. Come on.
Let's go. Let's go. I want to hold on before we continue. I want to have this debate with all of you because we need to let this out once and for all.
Honestly, an underrated gem of a mobster movie that nobody speaks about is called Mobsters.
That's good. It's good.
It's a little mobster film. Okay, it's when they were popular, like Christian Slater, Johnny Grieco, and you know what? It's not bad. It's actually pretty decent. It's better than Capone. Okay, but
Is Patrick Dempsey in it?
Yes.
But the all-time, for me, the all-time, like, we can all agree because we had this discussion. We all
Wait,
think
hold on.
Scarface-
Don't say the word, David, because Anita's right there. She probably finds it overrated.
we all hate Scarface, but the one that I think we can.
I don't hate Scarface.
Scarface. Scarface is really good. Well, no, Scarface is really good. What?
No,
you know,
overrated
like,
movie.
Scarface sucks. Okay. Hey Ray, if you're listening, you know it. Scarface sucks. Okay. But the one that's awesome. Okay. Honestly, The Untouchables. Actually,
Awesome,
nothing that is really top notch.
okay.
That's a better De Palma film than Scarface.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay. I could see that. But why do you like? What's it called mobsters for?
I don't
Because
know.
to
It's
me,
just there's a certain. I just got caught up in it. It's just like I saw the actors and I'm like, oh god, this is gonna suck. And it's like I had no expectations. So when you go into a film with no expectations, you sometimes actually prefer it more. So it's like I wasn't expecting anything, and I really enjoyed it. So I
enjoyed Scarface because Scarface is such a good movie. Do you want to know why it's a good movie? Do you want to know why?
I actually know why. Because of an overrated hammy performance by its lead actor.
No,
thank you.
No, you know why? Also, you want to know why? Okay, because we have a friend. His name is David Vigliotti. Shout out to him. He's in a band called Fatal Switch, and he introduced me to this movie. So there's this one scene that I love. I find some scenes of Scarface are comedic gold. The dance scene. Okay, so because I was an extra in Mafia Inc. and there was a dance scene. Now this reminds me of doing all dance scenes in movies. If you notice Scarface when they're dancing, put it to a certain volume, you hear their feet tapping on the ground. And when they have that song, She's on Fire, they're totally off sync with that song. So it took me 5 years to understand, like, wait a minute, something's not right about this movie. And then they're all like over dancing, and I'm like, what?
Sorry,
I didn't notice
that
that
makes
part.
me hate the movie even more.
I didn't notice that part because I must have fallen asleep.
No, okay, hold on. See, the reason why I love Scarface is because it has that rags to riches story, right? Where you have like a poor hold on, where it has like this everyday poor guy, and he goes, you know what, Ming? I got the money, I got the power, I got the girls, and then he gets there, and then boom, he becomes Scarface, and he snorts a lot of cocaine. Man, mountain of cocaine. That was the best scene in that movie too.
Actually, you know who directed part of that scene? Steven Spielberg.
Really?
Yeah.
Which scene? The cocaine scene?
The cocaine scene where everyone, with the explosion through the door, where everyone goes flying.
Oh.
He was there that day. He did part of that scene.
You see now.
I remember seeing a documentary.
It's actually on the documentary about Brian De Palma, and that to me is one of Spielberg's worst films.
Yeah, but
it's Scarface.
But here's the thing. I love it because it's overacted, and you're watching a cheesy '80s film. I'm like, all right, this is great, and it had it had Robert Loggia. You can't go wrong with Robert Loggia.
You can go wrong with Robert Loggia.
Guys, is it just me, or do you hear like water dripping?
I hear clicking.
I hear
Really, I'm hearing a clicking.
Yeah. I wonder who it is. Definitely can't be me.
Everybody, show your hands.
All right.
Bam.
Peter. Both hands, huh? Both hands. Let's see, back and forth, Peter. Let's go. No, but anyway, so going back to, but no, see, because a lot of people are enjoying Scarface, but I'm like, you know what? I'd rather take Scarface and Capone any day. That's my argument.
You just hate Tom Hardy.
You're taking
No. I love Tom Hardy. No, but here's the thing. Here's the reason why I don't like Capone. Number one, I love Tom Hardy. I think he's a good actor.
Don't say the Italian thing.
That's exactly what he's going to
Don't say the talking Italian thing. Because he's attempting to talk Italian, you don't like the film. Listen, I love the Irishman. I love the Irishman, but Joe Pesci and Robert De Niro speak Italian in The Irishman that my 8-year-old kid can speak better Italian than those two.
Oh, it's terrible.
It's terrible.
Jesus Christ,
So
David
in
knows
that case, just let them speak English. You
You
don't
have
need to hear
a
Italian.
You have a multi-million-dollar budget.
Yeah.
Take like $5,000 and just get an expert language coach and just like
Don't do it.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
I agree.
Don't do it. If you can't
But you know
speak
what?
Italian,
If you
don't
wanna
do it.
That's okay. If you want to do it, that's okay. But just make a bit of an effort to do it right.
Yeah, it was pretty.
Just like when they shoot in Montreal and pass it off as Montreal, and everyone is speaking with a Parisian accent.
Bonjour, hi.
Yeah, but see, that's SNL, and they had like 4 days to do it. I don't even care
I
about
like
that.
it. I like it.
Yeah, I thought it was funny, but like take like a Hollywood movie again, multi-million-dollar budget, and then you throw them in Montreal, and everybody is like, they do, and it's like, no,
Yeah, I get it.
like a hair of research, and you would know better.
But actually, that leads to a point. I saw this interview on Conan O'Brien, and apparently they were saying that. Okay, I'm hearing that. Wait, anyway,
You're here, right?
Yeah, we're here. Yeah, we
It's
call
on.
it. So I was about to say if someone's like doing some popcorn. We call it. Apparently they're saying that like people that play German characters were actually British actors. It was like British actors playing German. So the German people just had like a British accent, and you confused the Germans.
Well,
That-
but look at. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead, Dave. I'll say my point after yours. Go ahead.
No, but that goes back for years. I mean, you had years of westerns where all the Native Americans were played by white and German people. Like in one of my favorite westerns of all time, The Searchers, the main actor who plays the evil native who kidnaps Natalie Wood's character, he's a German dude.
Oh, Joe, that's your favorite western.
They brown faced him up.
That's
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah. Well, to continue what you guys were saying, for example, did you ever watch the movie Valkyrie, directed by Brett Ratner with Tom Cruise?
No, that was directed by Christopher McQuarrie.
No, it was Bryan Singer.
Yes. Oh man, sorry.
Christopher McQuarrie wrote the script. Bryan
Bryan
Singer
Singer.
directed.
Yeah. So anyway, so if you realize because they had Tom Wilkinson, Terrence Stamp, and all those actors besides Tom Cruise, they're all speaking British, and I'm like, I don't remember Nazis in Germany. I mean, I never was there, speaking, British, but that's what turned me off. It was a good movie. Don't get me wrong. I enjoyed it. But then the fact that you have Tom Wilkinson going, he will not go against the fuel. I'm like, oh fuck. What the fuck, you guys speaking English? This is supposed to be German. What are you guys doing?
I think you got to suspend the disbelief in order to finance the film. No one's going to finance with nobodies. You have to get people
Big name
actors to bulk up the budget there, or else you're not going to make your movie. That's the problem. I'm not a fan of the film at all. I thought the film was boring.
Yeah.
But the choice of actor doesn't bother me for that in that respect.
So Tom, oh sorry, what were we saying, Anita? Go ahead. You're gonna say something?
No, it was me. I was going to say sometimes it doesn't bother me. Sometimes it does. Like, for example, okay, I know Joe's going to freak out now. Kevin Costner's Robin Hood.
I love Kevin Costner's Robin Hood.
I like
film.
it. I like it, but if you're, you have, who do you have? So you have Kevin Costner, you have
Alan Rickman.
What's the other guy?
Alan Rickman.
Alan Rickman.
No, not Alan Rickman. His brother in the movie.
Morgan Freeman.
Christian Slater.
Oh yes.
No, it wasn't his brother.
It wasn't his brother? Yes, it was.
No,
At
Will
the
Scarlett.
end.
No. Will
Yes,
Scarlett.
in the end, it's his brother.
Will Scarlett's Robin Hood's brother.
Yes, at the end of the day.
end, Joe,
at the
were you
end of
paying
the
Oh,
attention?
really? I'm sorry.
So
No, but
it's a good movie, but if it bothers you that Kevin Costner is not British,
no,
not
that
English.
was one of the knocks on Robin Hood was he was so popular at the time.
yeah,
80% of it was his American accent came out. He didn't speak British for shit. Okay, it was but
It's a fun
that
movie.
wasn't one of the only problems with it. Like people had a problem with that film because they thought Robin Hood needed to be more cheerful. But I like that they went to the dark route. They actually went really dark, and it was really good.
Yeah, it was a really good one.
Oh man.
And then top it all off, with a song from Bryan Adams in the 1980s or early 1990s.
And you got a hit.
You got a hit.
Actually, if you want a bad example of big budget movie with whitewashing casting, look no further than Ridley Scott's Exodus.
And that was a good movie. That was a good. Okay, listen.
That movie stank.
Did you watch the director's cut, bro?
I became an atheist after watching that movie. I stopped believing in God after watching that movie.
No, listen. Okay, okay. So, because this is the problem with Ridley Scott films. Like most of them, when his movies come out to theaters, they're like, okay, whatever, it was bad. But if you watch the director's cut, it was much better. So going back to Exodus,
yeah, because the movies are 6 hours.
Okay, yeah, but you have a point. But point being, like his director's cuts are much better. So Exodus, when I saw it with my girlfriend at the time, I'm like, babe, we're gonna go see this movie. She goes, oh, what movie? I'm gonna surprise you. Went to go see Exodus. 10 minutes in, she fell asleep. That's not the point. The point is, I walked out of there. I'm like, you know what? I enjoyed this movie, but I had a problem with it. And the problem was, yes, it was whitewash, whatever. I'm not gonna get into it.
Sigourney Weaver, John Turturro.
Wait, Sigourney Weaver was in? Oh yeah, Sigourney Weaver.
She's in for 2 minutes. Yeah, there was no Egyptian, or not even people from that, ethnicity there. They're all white actors. And to me, it didn't work. But you needed it to get the budget.
Yeah, exactly.
On the flip side, forget Exodus. His best movie. What is it, Joe? His director's cut. What?
Kingdom of Heaven. The director's cut is Ridley Scott's best movie.
Yeah, exactly. It was that Gladiator, and you know what? I'm one of the very few people who say that Robin Hood, like his Robin Hood, was actually good. I enjoyed it. I have. You know why? Because you know why? It's because you know why? It's because I don't know why. I just enjoyed it. I'm like, it's entertaining to me because I enjoyed Russell Crowe. This being Russell Crowe with Napans. That's why I enjoyed it. I'm like, it's hilarious. A guy in a stomach, has a stomach bigger than me. I'm like, oh my god, this is great. And you have what's his name? The one who played the king that betrays him at the end. What's his name? Oscar Isaac. He reminds me of the Burger King king. That's why I'm like, when I'm seeing him, I'm like, this reminds me of the Burger King gimmick. Oh, this is beautiful. I think you have Mark Strong being Mark Strong. And it was really fun. But then you have Gladiator, and I think you're all gonna hate me, but I actually find Ridley Scott's American Gangster one of his best works. It's a good movie. Okay, it's a good movie.
Actually, if you guys want underrated Ridley Scott, I'm not sure if anyone liked it. Was White Squall in '96?
Yeah, that was fun.
Jeff Bridges,
that was fun.
That was a very good movie. I thought. Look at mobster movies. Come on.
Yeah, exactly.
Wait. Can I put one more for the whitewash thing? I don't know who the director is, but do you know who did the Gods of Egypt?
Oh, Alex Proya.
The guy who did Dark City.
And iRobot.
Dark City. Oh, okay, yeah.
That's with Gerard Butler and
Chadwick
Boseman.
Yeah. That was good. That had me laughing when I heard the Irish accent. I'm like, oh, he's Egyptian. That makes sense.
Okay, so we're doing mobster movies, right?
Yeah, we're doing mobster movies.
So
Let's do it.
I gotta ask you guys.
Sure.
Which Godfather?
Nita, come on, Nita.
Hold on. Before you ask that question, I want everyone to know, and I'm sure you all know this. There's a Godfather TV version of the film, so that means. What they did, AMC did this was, so all the flashbacks that you see in number 2, they were in number 1, and then it was shown in chronological order.
That's why it's garbage.
Yeah, it was on AMC. I was watching this before my dad passed away because my dad got me into mob movies, and my dad's like, "Hey, son, look, The Godfather's on TV." I'm like, "What?" So we're watching this. But then I see the look of confusion on my dad's face. I'm like, "Pa, why are you squinting? You're trying to solve a math problem? Like, what's going on?" And then he goes, "This is not The Godfather." And I'm like, I'm looking. I'm like, what the? So then we rented the Godfather trilogy. And then my dad goes, "Oh, this is better." And I'm like, "What the hell are you talking about?" Like when we rented, it was the original theatrical version. But then, when it came out on TV, it was such a big mess the reviews were hilariously
Yeah.
awesome because they were crapping on it. But all this to say, I'm like, you know what? I enjoy because to me, when I was younger, those flashbacks in number one made much more sense. That's when I wasn't challenging myself into films. But yeah.
Sorry, go ahead. Sorry, Claudia.
I was going to say, just to answer your question, Dave, number 2 is my favorite.
Okay.
2 is the better film. One is the one that's going to be remembered longer.
Well, wait a minute. Nobody's going to say part 3?
Wait till Christmas.
Not me.
No, I actually like Part 3 as a movie. I thought it's unjustly panned. It's not as good, but it's unjustly panned. And at Christmas, we're going to get the real version. So,
Yeah, you know what?
If I'm not mistaken, had the best. Why can't I find the word? Intercutting.
yeah, no, Part 2 is a fantastic film. But one, I think, is Part 3.
Had the best,
the ending.
intercutting.
The ending.
Yeah, the ending.
Yeah.
That's the credit I give to part 3. But part 2 is my favorite.
I think Part 3 just suffers because it's the casting of Part 3. It stops the movie cold when you see Sofia Coppola's character. I think it just
exactly.
hit the wall.
For me, sorry. Go ahead, Claudia.
No, go ahead, Anthony. Go ahead.
For me, I think the thing that I don't like about part 3, it's not so much the casting. I understand what you mean by Sofia Coppola and all that. It's the story. I find that it's too, like the first and second one, they're operatic and in a way that you can you
can relate.
You can relate, and it's part 3 that's just with the comparing comparing the opera to what's it's like what's that Shakespeare play, Hamlet, the play within a play type deal, and I think they go too far with it, and the fact that the Vatican's involved, and I know that I'm not saying the Vatican's not corrupt and all that stuff. There's a lot of story out there about the Vatican being corrupt, and obviously that's interesting, but I just find it just overboard in terms of the whole deal. You know what I mean? I think they should have kept it local, and they should have kept it in the streets, and they should have expanded the whole Zaza thing. And they should have done something with Andy Garcia's character, really.
I thought he was the best character of the movie.
Yeah, exactly. And so he's they should have focused on him. And I agree with Robert Duvall. They should have paid Robert Duvall and put him in the damn film.
Yeah, that's true. Because George Hamilton really doesn't do much.
He overreached. Part 3, he overreached.
Exactly.
It wasn't
exactly.
overreached.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying it's a bad movie. I'm saying it's a misguided attempt.
I think so.
You see, for me, the way I see this is Godfather 2 is a great story, but Godfather 1, the cinematography is beautiful. So that's why Godfather 1 people remember you. It's because of the camera work, because of the aesthetics. 2 had actually good. 3, you're like, okay, I want to go either see my ex-girlfriend and jump off the bridge or do both at the same time.
Oh.
But also, see, in my opinion, there should be a Godfather 4.
Actually, Claudia, you know what? You're making a good point. You know what I think they should have done with 3? They should have gone back to the beginning, before Godfather 1.
The prequel.
Yeah, they should have done that with
Yes, they should have, because they should have.
In my opinion.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, because what I was gonna say, I'm like, they should have gone back, right? They should have, to explain more of.
There were talks about that.
Yeah, there was, and you know what? Quite frankly, Scorsese should have directed it. That's my opinion. There should have been more about Corleone and how, what he did, while he was getting to the top. You see it in number 2, right, with the flashbacks. But there should have been more how he had enemies and how he came to have to.
I think why 2 I think works is because you see this man who really doesn't. The only reason he did what he did was so no one would take advantage of his neighborhood. That's the only reason he did it. It wasn't for this. Maybe in the end, it was power, but he started just to protect himself.
And it also reflects, and that's why it works. Is it reflects
On Michael.
reflects what Pacino's character is doing in part 2.
But that's why I like Pacino's ending in part 3, because he amassed so much power. All he had in the end of part 2 was power. He alienated everybody. He did. He failed for what his father succeeded, and in the end, he died like his father.
Yeah, but you know what? I found it interesting. I found what Andy, like Andy Garcia is obviously the love child of Sonny's mistress, correct?
Yeah.
Right? There's a lot going on with that story. And I think maybe they could have done something with Garcia's character, and it would have been really interesting to see him develop a relationship with Al Pacino, and sort of like, in a way, Al Pacino would have had an opportunity to sort of have some kind of peace with Andy Garcia, because his brother kind of died in the way that he died. Sonny died in the way that he died, and maybe Andy Garcia's character would have had closure because he would have had that father figure in Al Pacino's character. You know what I mean? Like, it's like they didn't explore that at all. They didn't, like, he was just another character, but he took over in the end. Like, it's understood that Andy Garcia's character took over, but they didn't really. They should have explored that.
Question to you guys for Garcia's Italian character. I'm sorry, but his Hispanic accent was very heavy.
I loved him in part 3.
Yeah. By the way, do you know?
I love him in Untouchables.
Yeah. By the way, fun fact.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah, fun fact. Did you know that Nicolas Cage was going to play Andy Garcia's character?
No.
Oh man, that would have been amazing.
Nepotism all booked in that film, man.
Yeah, I know. So as I was saying, but there's a lot of people that were saying, like, they have that open ending, and they were saying that, does Andy Garcia's character become the next Godfather? That's what everyone's wondering. I hope
does,
not.
right? Doesn't he?
He becomes the next Don. He becomes the boss of the family.
But that's what I'm saying, and it's like, it's not even. It's they don't even explore the relationship between Pacino and Garcia that they should have had.
Wait till Christmas. We're gonna get the director's cut, 4 hours long.
Yeah,
I don't know,
man. It was a shame. Peter, did you ever see The Godfather 3?
3, no,
Okay,
just
God.
one,
Thank
and
God.
2.
Thank God. You're not missing anything.
But if they do number 4, since it's 2020, they're gonna probably put like a female Godfather just to put
The godmother.
It's never going to cinemas. It'll never make money. It's gonna be streaming
Peter?
on Amazon. That's it.
That's
Did Mel have to rap like a woman scorned?
I wouldn't mind the female. I wouldn't mind the female mob boss.
I wouldn't mind it either.
There's no, though, like The Irishman. If you put The Irishman in cinemas, it wouldn't make a dime.
Yeah, you're right.
It wouldn't have made a dime.
Just to touch upon what Peter and Anita, just said. Do you remember, you guys, in part 3? When Al Pacino, there's a scene in part 3 where Al Pacino's character is like out of commission for a little bit, and his sister makes a move. Like, she basically takes she agrees upon a hit on one of the bosses who's trying to take her family out. So there's a bit of that.
okay. Oh,
okay, but so I'm saying that I like that, and it's sort of, and she basically agrees with Andy Garcia's character to take out that underboss's to take him out because he was going after the family. So I actually liked that part that they never. It's like I wanted them to develop that, but they never did. It's like they they made her make the decision. Al Pacino. It's just before Al Pacino yells out, what's the famous line? I thought I was out, but they pulled me back in. It was
So he has the stroke in the kitchen.
Yeah, it's something like that. But I think it's there. Then and there, he finds out that she actually agreed on a hit.
No, that scene, the stroke happens after the helicopter attack.
Yeah.
He has the stroke, and then Connie and Garcia's character kill Joey Zaza.
So Peter, Anita, so there is a lot going on there that I think, like what Joe was saying, they just, and even David, they just overreached and they missed a lot of the things that they could have. There's a lot of story that they could have mined, but They just missed the point there.
Actually,
So
back
Peter,
to
basically, you don't have to watch The Godfather Part 3. We told you everything.
Okay.
Actually, you know what? You know what? Boy, now that we're sticking with the Godfather, now we're sticking with the Godfather 3. My favorite enemy throughout the entire trilogy is Joey Zaza. I love Joey. I don't know what it is. Like he's just over the top, Guido Grasso like bad guy. And you just want to see him be like, you're not gonna survive for the next movie. You'll be here for like half an hour. You know, I just love Zaza. I don't know why.
Actually, going back to something Anita said, remember we're talking about the Irishman and getting someone to speak Italian, or at least training someone to speak Italian.
Yeah.
If you noted that movie, the guy that Connie kills with the poison cannoli, that was a stupid scene. But
yeah, Eli Wallach.
Eli Wallach doesn't speak Italian. He spoke perfect Italian in the film.
Yeah,
he actually spoke better than probably a Pacino would speak Italian.
I agree.
Yeah, he spoke better than what Tom Hardy did in Capone.
Yeah.
Sorry. I had my anger there.
Just to like wrap up on Joey's thought there, like you don't even need a multi-million-dollar budget. We like Joey and David made a movie where they got a guy who an Anglophone, Robert Verrett, Francophone, Robert Verrett, who speak almost perfect Italian with a very, very believable accent.
That's actually one of my favorite films.
But it wasn't a professional coach. It was just somebody who knew how to speak Italian and knew how to teach.
And we didn't have $90 million.
And he didn't have.
We had $3.
Like $80 million. Yeah, so just to say,
I want to say how I had no faith in him. I swear to God, I had rented the equipment. I had over $1,000 of equipment.
What was the name of the film, Joe? Say the name of the film.
Yeah, Il Secondo Atto. It's on our YouTube,
Vimeo.
It's on the Vimeo one, and we're gonna have a YouTube page coming up soon with the release of the next one. But Il Secondo Atto. When I made the movie, we rented all kinds of equipment, and about a week before shooting, I almost had I had a panic attack, saying I can't rent all this equipment. And the first day of shooting, this guy is not gonna know anything. So instead of I canceled the order. I took my little camera. I'm like, if I'm gonna bomb with this small little camera and not spend a dime doing it. And the first take, he starts speaking Italian, and I'm like, shit, I should have rented the equipment. But the movie came out well anyway because they were good. He impressed me to no end. Now today, if you ask him to say anything in Italian, he has no idea what he's saying.
It's amazing.
Oh yeah. Because because here's the thing, and here's the thing. What people tell me about, if an actor has to learn another language, they're just gonna say what they have to say from that dialogue and say it in another language. With everything else, they're like, what do they care? It's like saying Peter, like, hey Peter, you have scenes where you have to talk Italian. Peter's going to go on Babelfish, memorize all the words that he has to say in the film in Italian, but he goes outside those words, he'll be like, like, I don't understand you, So that's what I feel like most of these actors and actresses would be doing today. Peter, I'm not saying Peter is going to do it.
I don't mind when someone flubs the dialect or the accent, but when you have something as blatant as you're playing the mob boss of Philadelphia who was born in Sicily, and you're telling De Niro's character, hey, your accent, I recognize it. I'm like, what accent are you recognizing? I'm like, yeah, I recognize the accent from Sicily. I'm like, what?
But you know what? De Niro's accent in The Godfather was pretty good. I have to say,
but he learned it for
it was pretty good. And Frank Silvera was the one that made it authentic. It's the guy with the curly hair that plays opposite him in part 2.
Yes.
Yeah, the same guy who plays in Goodfellas.
Yeah, he's authentic. I mean, he's he does a great job. But De Niro does a great job.
But De Niro aside in The Irishman, De Niro was playing an Irish guy who can speak Italian, so he can get away with that. It was passion. I'm like, don't say it.
E quando anni sei stati all'Italia? I'm like, fuck is this?
Because that's what it sounds like.
But listen, if you look at a lot of people, especially Italian Americans now, whose ancestors came at the turn of the century, they don't even speak. It's not even there. Not even there at all.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But man, this water droplets really.
You know what this noise sounds like? You guys remember the movie Signs
Yes.
M. Night Shyamalan signs when the demons or the aliens are
Aliens,
communicating.
aliens. I actually saw that movie. Yeah, I actually saw that movie. It was actually a really good movie. I know a lot about it.
It was good until the actual revelation.
Yeah, of the aliens.
I
Yeah.
didn't mind that.
You didn't mind that?
I didn't mind that.
I minded it. Swing
Oh,
away,
man.
swing away my ass.
but yeah, no. Going back to mob movies and the actors and accents, like it kind of bothers me because I'm sorry, but if you do if you're talking Italian or Greek or whatever, I'm like, at least get like an authentic actor who looks like they could play the part and knows how to talk the language. Like that's what bothers me the most, and that's why I admire Francis Ford Coppola. Because he actually fought tooth and nail. Well, no, not really, ladies and gentlemen, calm down. But he fought he's like, I need these actors.
You're right. He fought tooth and nail.
Yeah, but I'm saying how people are today, like, oh, he actually fought, But that's why I admire Francis Ford Coppola because he envisioned these actors like, okay, so you'll speak a certain way, this way or that way. That's why I admire him so much. Instead of
watching
these other movies like Tom Hardy portraying an Italian.
Okay, get over it, Claudio.
No,
I believed it.
No,
Claudio.
you know what? I'm not going to get over it. This movie has to be remade. I'm going to remake this movie the right way it should be written. I'm sorry. I'm just
You're right.
Yeah,
you should be Denzel Washington. Denzel Washington will lead it. Don't worry. It's okay.
Hey, you know what? Denzel Washington.
Probably nail it too.
Denzel Washington can do anything, man.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I love that guy.
It's like you talk about American Gangster. He wasn't the problem with American Gangster.
No.
He was actually excellent American Gangster. Just the movie was just so.
Yeah.
No, but Denzel Washington is just whatever he does, even though it is shit movies, okay? He's reliable. He's always good. The movie might be bad, but he's always solid.
Exactly.
He's unstoppable, Joe.
You know what?
Hands down.
He got $20 million to do nothing and unstoppable. He sat on his ass for an hour and a half driving a train.
Denzel Washington is easily in my top 5 best actors ever.
You know what I saw recently?
Hands down.
If you guys want to watch an amazing Denzel movie, Courage Under Fire.
That was a good movie. That was for me. Now let's talk about Denzel. For me, it's Courage Under Fire, Man on Fire, The Equalizer, Training Day, and American Gangster.
Training Day.
What's wrong with Training
Day?
Training Day is an okay movie. You want an Oscar for that, please?
Yeah. No, listen. I found this. Listen, I found a DVD for $3. Okay, I went to was it Walmart? Then it was it was on a $5 bin, and then the person's like, "Oh, this movie's $3." I'm like, "Oh fuck, I'm gonna take."
I don't think it's because it's a good movie. I think it's just a great deal.
Denzel Washington film ever. Okay, it's a little film. Ridley Scott's brother directed it. Okay, it's called Man on Fire. Okay.
Good movie.
What a terrible
great movie.
fucking movie.
It's a good movie, David.
No, it is a good movie, David. You're wrong, David. It's such a good movie. It's really good. And Denzel Washington was, I'm sorry, Tony Scott's little B word because it was in a lot of his movies. I love Man on Fire.
But you know what? There's a lot of Denzel Washington movies that I love, and I'll tell you this, okay, about Denzel. This is what I think about Denzel. Did you guys? I forget what the interview was, but there was an interview about I forget who interviewed Tupac. There was this one interview where they interviewed Tupac, and Tupac in the interview said, "I can go into any neighborhood, anywhere, and I'll be able to fit in. I won't get in trouble. Any neighborhood I can walk into and I won't get into trouble." Denzel, in my opinion, he can play, and like you guys were saying, he can be in any shitty movie. He can sit on his ass on a train. He'll be interesting and he'll pull off anything.
Exactly.
That's Denzel Washington.
He still got the milk at the end. He still got the milk.
I think for me, it's more about Tony Scott. Not a great fan of Tony Scott's work. I like some of his films, and I don't like some of his films. But Unstoppable is not one of them.
But Tony Scott made Crimson Tide, and then they were excellent,
fantastic.
That was
fantastic.
great. That was great.
I think that's in my top 5 Denzel films.
Oh yeah, no, that was great, and because when I was in Concordia, I took a film class, and we're studying on Ridley Scott, and Ridley Scott said once, like the difference between him and his brother, how he wants people to differentiate between the both of them is Ridley Scott is more for aesthetics and more visuals. So when you're watching a film, you're watching for his camera work and aesthetics. Tony Scott is like someone on AD who was on Ritalin, who has ADD, and changes camera angles every 5 seconds. So I did a paper on Unstoppable, right, with Denzel Washington, Chris Pine.
You did a paper on that? That paper must have been 3 words long.
Oh fuck!
It is shit.
but here's the thing, right? Because and I was comparing, and I also spoke about the Taking Film 1, 2, 3, and I was comparing with another Ridley Scott film. I don't remember, and then I remember, and I found this article which I wish I saved it today, and it's Ridley Scott, Tony Scott's brother said, watching Taking Film 1, 2, 3 is like watching someone who has ADD telling people what to do. And it was word for word. The more I rewatch Tony Scott films, the more I'm agreeing with Ridley Scott. I'm like, oh fuck, it's true, huh?
If you want to have a stroke, watch Domino.
Yes. I saw that last week. Oh fuck.
Domino? And remember that? Pardon?
With Keira Knightley? Is that
Yeah.
Lucy Liu.
And Mickey Rourke.
Oh my god.
Oh man.
Yeah. 1-2 colors. David, Deja Vu.
Oh,
Deja Vu.
Oh, what bad that was, man.
Oh man.
terrible.
Okay, this is interesting.
Denzel Washington made a bad movie. Deja Vu.
Hey, Denzel. Hey, in that movie,
I love
Denzel,
Deja Vu.
Jesus.
Really?
Okay.
Loved it.
Wait, this will be interesting. Did you guys like Phone Booth?
Yes.
I like phone booth.
Okay, all right.
But the only reason why phone booth works is because of the voice. And
Kiefer Sutherland.
Kiefer Sutherland was the voice, and he was so menacing as it. That's why the film works.
Can you just imagine?
I liked it a lot. I thought it was really good.
Can you just imagine if one of us did the voiceover, did Kiefer's work? Bro, I
leave the booth.
actually, funny story about that. Yeah, like, hey, I see you. Like, where are you going? Come back. actually, no. There was one story that because Joel Schumacher did a commentary on DVD, and he said he goes. So a lot of directors they were in talks of directing it. You had Michael Bay, you had Tony Scott, you had Ridley Scott, and you had a few other people. And Michael Bay. First question, because he was this close, besides Joel Schumacher getting to direct it. Michael Bay asks 2 questions: how are we getting Colin Farrell out of the booth, and can I use explosions in the film? And then Fox just told him to go take a hike. I'm like, oh, that would have been great. That would have been great.
Yeah.
How do we get off mobster movie talk?
Yeah, I'm not going to get back on that.
Okay, so I'll give you a mobster movie.
Go ahead.
Once Upon a Time in America.
Oh,
Very
Carlito's Way.
Mhm.
Wait. How's Carlito's Way?
I
How's
love Carlito's
Way?
Way better than Scarface.
That's
I
good.
love Carlito's Way.
Benny Blanco from the
Awesome.
Bronx.
Once Upon a Time in America, yes. Carlito's Way, no.
Carlito's Way was good.
No. Benny Blanco from the Bronx?
Awesome.
No thanks. No.
That was good. Listen to
You want
me.
to talk about if you guys want to talk about mob movies, you haven't spoken about one of the greatest mob movies ever.
Which is?
Night Shift.
Goodfellas.
Night Shift. Okay.
Yeah, but Goodfellas is
Goodfellas. Oh, yeah.
It's
yeah.
always we're
Goodfellas
trying to find
is
something
like-
that's not Goodfellas.
By the way, actually, I have something for you. I find Casino is way better than Goodfellas.
Oh.
We can't be friends.
Mic drop. I can't drop this, but
I like
yeah,
Casino
no.
a lot. I like it. I prefer to watch this. I agree with him. I prefer to watch
Damn
Casino.
right. Damn right.
Not because it's a
Now,
better
Joey's
movie.
just
I think it's more
sucking up to
entertaining
you,
for me.
I'm sorry, David.
Joey's just sucking up to you now.
Oh, fuck off.
Listen, okay? No, but
You know what? Goodfellas is. Sorry, go ahead, Anita.
I was just gonna say, I really, really like Goodfellas, but I think I also watched it. I don't know, at an impressionable age, whatever age that was, I don't even remember, but just, I guess, like when it hit all the feels. And I remember watching Casino later on as like a much older adult and thinking it's a good movie. And maybe if I had seen Casino instead of Goodfellas at that age, Casino would be my ultimate mob movie. But
Okay.
because it's reversed, like they're both equally good, but Goodfellas is just, there's something there. Ray Liotta's narration is just, I don't know, it's special. It's good. And it's always
Yeah.
nice to watch the unraveling at the end.
Yeah, it's just it's one of those movies where that too, like I play it as background music. It's just one of those films that you can watch over and over and over again.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You never get tired of it. It's just great from beginning to end. Obviously, like the ending is like it's always like, when it gets to the end, it's so erratic that
If they took out, if Casino had taken out all that stuff with Sharon Stone, okay, I'd rather prefer Casino, okay, but all that stuff with Sharon Stone and James Woods was completely unnecessary.
Oh, it's not. It was actually part of the guy's story. It actually happened.
Yeah,
No,
and
no.
I love that. I
No.
love James Woods.
No.
I love.
Lester.
I don't know, James Woods, man. He just added. It was something good there with between him and Sharon Stone. I think Sharon Stone's story was important.
I like the atmosphere of Casino better than I like the atmosphere of Google. You know what? I've seen the 50s mobs. I've seen the 60s mob. I've seen that before. I like the fact that we got out of New York and into Las Vegas. I like to see mob movies go from what we know to something different. That's why I like. You know what? You want a gangster movie? Road to Perdition with Tom Hanks and Paul Newman.
That was good. That was good.
I liked it a lot because it's
yeah,
a different
that
type
was
of mob
actually
movie. It's the Irish mob. I'm like, it's good. Let's do more of that. Like Once Upon a Time in America, it was the Jewish mob.
Yeah.
You know, let's get out of that. Let's get out of the Italians and
I'll
watch other
give you another one.
Yeah.
Pulp Fiction.
That was good.
There it is.
That's a mob.
It's
It's a mob movie.
Tarantino's best film.
Reservoir Dogs is more of a,
Yeah.
I find Reservoir Dogs, he was still wetting his feet. It was good, but I think his all-time, I think it comes close. It's between Pulp Fiction and Inglourious Bastards.
Oh, shit.
For me, actually, since we're talking about Tarantino, I'll give you my Claudio's top 5 picks of Quentin Tarantino movies. All right. Pulp Fiction,
Okay.
Inglourious Bastards,
All right.
Django Unchained,
That was good.
Kill Bill, Volume 1.
I never really liked Kill Bill.
Volume 1 was better than Volume 2.
Oh, two.
Dude,
Hold on. I'll explain. And then last but not least, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Oof.
Actually, no. You know what? Switch that around. The more I'm thinking about it, the more I put Once Upon a Time in Hollywood slightly up underneath Pulp Fiction because I just love the story that Quentin created.
No.
I saw it 3 times. I want to buy it, but I saw it 3 times in theaters because they just, I don't know. It was just something about that era that I love.
No,
And
the era is. You know what? For the award it won, the production design, it deserved it. They really captured the era with the costumes and the production design and the props. Everything worked well. But if I wanted to spend $90 million on a movie that does absolutely nothing,
6 Underground.
I would do something else. I thought
don't know. I don't think it says nothing.
I think it says nothing.
I don't know about that.
Because it sets up an entire movie of having this. I had this my knot in my stomach. What's going to happen to this woman at the end? And all of a sudden, it pulls the rug from out under you, and I'm like, it's a fairy tale. Up yours, Tarantino.
Yeah.
I'm like, no.
But look, I don't know, man. All of his movies are fairy tales, and I think he was at his best when he basically did that. At the end, he basically was telling you, guys, this is just a fairy tale. So that's what at the end. There's something about it that when I first watched it, I just felt like it was, man, the guy's like pulling our strings, and he really outdid himself in terms of story. And that's why it won what it won. You know what I mean? That's why it was recognized.
I'll still put it higher than his last one, which I think is his worst film, The Hateful Eight. And,
yeah, that was bad.
I like the Hateful too, man.
I didn't like it.
See, what I like about the Hateful Eight is I love the atmosphere, I love the setting for it, but I'm like, oh, it's. I don't know. You see that baby crying in the background understands our pain when we watch Hateful Eight.
You know why? Because he gave us 8 characters that I could not care less
Yeah.
who dies.
Yeah.
I don't care about Sam Jackson, that stupid Lincoln letter. In your message film, I know what message film you're trying to say. I know exactly what you're trying to do, but I didn't care about them because they're all morally repugnant characters.
Yeah.
Everyone, I know that's what he wanted, but
Yeah.
I can't like it because I don't care what happens to these people. And then Channing Tatum's in the basement. What?
Yeah, I know. That was the best part of the whole movie.
I mean, you need to have morally repugnant people and be attached to them and be rooting for one or another. You need a lot more character development, and you need something to like soften them a little bit. Like I find this. Sorry, going to TV now, but still going back to the mob thing. I thought The Sopranos was really good for that.
Yeah.
No one in The Sopranos was nice. I wouldn't want to be friends with even the nicest people on The Sopranos. They were all morally repugnant in one way or another.
Yeah.
But they were developed enough to the point where you were rooting for some of them at some point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas with Hateful Eight, that development wasn't there at all, and that was it. They were just hateful. That was it.
But
You want all of them to die at the same time so you can stop watching the movie.
Yeah.
but again, you see, I think that if you think about Tarantino, look, and you think about the title speaks for itself, and I don't think he doesn't apologize for that. He just that's the thing. It was intentional, and I think it was all intentional, and I don't think the whole deal wasn't for you to like root for one character or another. And if you did, then you kind of like cringed, right? You're like, I can't believe I'm and he kind of like pulls your strings at like that as well. It's all intentional,
Yeah.
It's more the boring Eight.
No, it was okay. It was okay.
3 hours to that. I saw the roadshow presentation. And I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah, me too. I saw him like, oh fuck. Like I felt time go by. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
But no, that was look, it was okay. Like as I said, I enjoyed the story was really good. It's just the way that we saw it. I'm like, okay, it could have been done much better.
The problem with Tarantino, his latest films, the problem is his earlier works were better because now the word that comes to mind when it comes to Tarantino is meandering. He's in love with himself so much with his dialogue that his films are starting to become overblown. That's the problem.
Yeah,
and that was the problem with The Hateful Eight, and that was the problem with Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
True.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Well, look, that's why, you know what? That was a blessing why they cut Kill Bill in 2, because Kill Bill, imagine it was one shot. I'm like, I think it would have been too much.
Yeah, but you gotta consider Kill Bill one film.
Yes, but I'm glad they cut it in 2.
Yeah.
I'm glad they cut it. I'm glad we saw a samurai film, and then we just jumped to a Western, basically. And I'm like, I like that. If I saw it in one sitting, I'm like, it'd be jarring. It'd be like, what just happened? I'm glad he chose that.
Yeah, all
Yeah,
right.
and I think there's a clear break between 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Like it was imagined as one movie, but as 2, you don't watch the 2 of them and be like, well, this is one movie that they just cut in 2. Like there's a clear sort of division in pace and story and genre, like you said. Oh yeah, for sure, I agree.
Yeah.
And I agree with AJ's comment. It's Kill Bill Volume 2 all the way.
Yeah.
So Claudio, again, you're wrong.
You know what? You know what, guys? Okay, listen.
Was better.
Listen, guys. Okay, you know what? I'm never wrong. Okay, no, I'll stop talking that way. But you know,
And
I'm sorry, Anita. Can you repeat that?
no, I was kidding around, imitating you. I'm like, this is my show.
Exactly. You know what, guys? This is my show and Peter's show, but this is my show. Okay, what I say? No, I'm not that. But for me, like my all-time favorite director, who I find never lost his style. And I'm talking about. I'm talking about mobster movies. Nolan, I love Nolan. Is Scorsese. For me, Martin Scorsese is my top director. He never ever, he never lost his style.
No, you're right.
No,
You're right.
yeah.
You can go to one of his first films, say you'd say Mean Streets, and look all the way to The Irishman, and you could see the same filmmaker using the same techniques.
Yeah.
And he hasn't changed.
So I mean,
Exactly.
Street was
But
Oh come on! Whoa!
Which film?
Oh!
Mean Streets. I could have watched it.
I need to got me mad.
You know what? Maybe if Phil was here, he would agree. But I think the sound just made the movie generally unwatchable.
Oh my God!
But
I want to start drinking because of you.
but what I love about Scorsese is that he's comfortable with mobster films. Okay,
Yeah.
his mobster films are great, but it's his other films, his non-mobster films that are his masterpieces as well. Because
Shutter Island.
across the board, this guy
Hugo.
Shutter Island, yeah,
he's
Shutter
pure
Island was good.
genius.
Shutter Island's great.
Pure genius.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah,
I agree, David.
Yeah, for me,
If you look at one of Joe's favorite is Silence.
Oh, I love
But
Silence.
if you look at his older work, even I think The Last Temptation of Christ is a
Awesome
brilliant film. It's fantastic.
I know Joe can't get past the Harvey Keitel's Judas
I have
character.
a problem of watching Judas with a Brooklyn accent.
But it's still awesome.
That takes me out. The filmmaking itself, I adore the filmmaking of the film. It's just like when I hear something you want,
Willem
what
Dafoe.
we're talking about before, that it takes me out of the movie,
Yeah.
is when I hear, "Hey Jesus, get off the cross." I'm like, ah.
yeah, it's true. Oh my God, hey, just go like, ugh.
But aside
But
from
we
that,
don't know
yeah,
what Judas sounded like.
he didn't sound like that.
Yeah, it's
I'm
true.
pretty
He didn't sound like a mean kid bro from St. Leonard or New Yorker with an accent. Okay?
If you guys
You don't know.
if you guys have patience, watch the movie made about the Dalai Lama, Kundun.
Yeah,
to
that
me
was
is
that was good.
filmmaking on highest level there.
Actually, yeah, you know, yeah.
But he makes a Scorsese film out of that, and I'm like, you could see the same man who did Goodfellas like 7 years before. I'm like, it's uncanny that he uses the same tricks.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. And for me, like to this day, my favorite non-mobster film from Scorsese is Hugo, because I had a history of film exam. All right, so one day, so I'm like, I didn't read anything for it. So I'm like, oh man, so Hugo talks about history of film. So I saw that, and long story short, I passed my history of film exam because I saw Hugo.
Really?
Yeah, I did.
Wow.
Yeah, I really. I like in my head, I'm like, oh, this sounds really good, but you know, when I'm saying it right now, I'm like, it's probably a stupid idea for mentioning it, but
Actually, bringing up Scorsese, you know, no one ever talks about one of your faves, did Cape Fear.
yeah, Cape Fear is really good.
Awesome.
Cape Fear is really good.
That's a really good
It
movie.
was awesome.
Yeah, but you know what? But see, and that's why, you know, for Scorsese, like I love like his other genre besides gangster films, like Cape Fear, Shutter Island, Hugo. There was a movie that he did with Daniel Day-Lewis that was an 18th century piece.
The Age of Innocence.
Age of
Yes,
Innocence.
Age of
Another
Innocence.
very good movie.
Yeah, I know.
Scorsese's worst film, okay, is The
Gangs of
Color
New
of
York.
Money.
Which one? Sorry.
The Color of Money.
Really?
Yeah, that's his
Yeah,
worst film.
it's his
I'll
worst
give you that.
Oh, I don't know,
it's a
man.
bad film.
It's an unnecessary. To me, nothing works in the film. Paul Newman won an Oscar for it, for a career Oscar. That was it. Nothing works in that movie for me.
I liked it.
I thought it was boring. I thought no. I think his most underrated film is the one he made before that.
After Hours.
After Hours.
Yeah.
I thought it was a very
I
good
loved
movie.
After Hours.
King of Comedy.
King of Comedy is an excellent movie.
King of Comedy.
You know,
I love
masterpiece is still Raging Bull, but King of Comedy is excellent.
Yeah,
No, but After Hours, man. If you guys haven't watched that film, it's good.
Yeah,
It's awesome.
it's relentless. It doesn't stop.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no break in the momentum. It's just 2 hours of just straight going.
Yeah, there's I don't know if do you guys know do you remember that scene with is it Patricia Arquette or no? It's not Patricia Arquette.
Rosanna Arquette.
Rosanna Arquette. There's a scene in the movie where Rosanna Arquette is talking about it's so long ago, but it sticks in my mind because she's talking about either something happened to her in the past where I think she was either violated in some way or something happened to her, and the main character, she falls asleep, and he I don't remember exactly what happens, but he's so worried about. I don't know if it's like, or he's being intimate with her. Do you guys remember that scene where he's afraid to sort of look under the covers to see what, like he's afraid to see what's gonna happen, and Scorsese builds that suspense to a point where it's like, oh my god, like what does she look like? And the way he shoots that scene, and I think, and then the covers reveal her body, and nothing. She's in terms of like, she's beautiful. It's like 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 all his fears about like what she looks like, or how she might have been maimed in some way. He's like horrified. Do you remember that?
Was that Arquette, or was that Linda Fiorentino?
I'm not sure, but I wish I remember who it was. But when he pulls back the covers, it's like it's nothing. It's nothing the way he thought it would be, and it's like the way Scorsese sort of sets up the shots. It's amazing. And it's like it's almost a nothing scene, but he builds it to a point where you're expecting something, and then nothing happens, and it gets you. You know what I mean?
So I have another question. So now I want to return to Night Shift. So talking about mob films and stuff, what's your favorite mob film that inspired you guys to create a Night Shift environment?
For me, sorry, you want to go?
I'm saying just because the end of the film, the way we had the lighting with because if it was like purple and orange, I would say it was almost like a Scorsese's Goodfellas kind of bar scene.
Yeah,
that was what was going through my mind. Yeah. Not the bright scenes, but the dimly lit club scenes or bar scenes. That's what was going through my mind when we were there. I'm like, that's what I wanted to convey.
Yeah,
like that.
For me, the things that I kept thinking about in terms of the way the character works. Mm-hmm. It's always Charles Bronson's Death Wish. If you watch Death Wish, when his family gets killed, his wife and his daughter, he's just like slowly goes through the process of like he's still like he's an architect, and he ends up going back to his job because he doesn't know what else to do, and he's slowly, like as he's working, he's slowly imploding, and he ends up like in the end he ends up buying a gun. And just before he buys the gun, he's like, he doesn't know what to do with himself, and I think he ends up putting like I think like he ends up putting a cue ball in a sock, and he ends up like whipping it around, and it's like
that's exactly what he does, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And so he doesn't know what to do, and then he ends up buying a gun, and then finally he ends up going into the streets and finding like a face to he's like finding a bad guy to kill. You know what I mean? So to sort of like quench his need to for revenge. You know what I mean? And then eventually he ends up finding the guys, and then he ends up killing them. But for me, I was always thinking about that. Like I always liked that sort of the process that he went through. And then like sort of like he's slowly like losing his mind. It eats away at him until he finally decides to pick up a weapon and then go out and like do what he needs to do. And it ends up being like the scariest people ever. You know what I mean? He ends up going after, and then he just ends up in cold blood killing everybody. You know what I mean? So I had that in mind actually.
Okay.
Awesome. Not the Bruce Willis one, because
Bruce Willis, but the Charles Bronson one. And not Death Wish 2, 3, 4, and 5, and 16. Death Wish 1.
And by the way, Death Wish was shot in Montreal.
I know. I was supposed to be an extra.
That I didn't know.
Yeah, I missed Montreal. Yeah. And one of the X-Men's, because I was working and I was still going to school that time, but I applied to be an extra in Death Wish. Like, yeah, no, we'll give you a call to be on, to call on set. I'm like, all right, cool. So the date, so it was a day before that to film. I got nothing, no email, nothing. Finally, at 5 a.m., on a day off, I got an email saying, well, we're full. Thank you for trying. I'm like, oh, motherfuckers. And then, but it was really sad.
You know what, Claudio? touching on the subject of Montreal, I'm actually, you know what? I'm amazed that the film was shot in Montreal and how appropriate. I was talking to the gang, okay? We were talking about like Montreal also being a character in the film.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I think like we're slowly doing that. Like we're opening up our films and showing the city, but Montreal, I would say, is one of those like it's a kept secret. I really think Montreal is one of those cities where at some point I feel like it's going to blow up in terms of like it being the city of, where people shoot films and they just use the city as the city and say it's Montreal. Like very few films, you can count on your fingers how
Yeah.
many films do that. And like I can't think, like I think maybe the whole 9 yards, I think maybe
Yeah.
is one of them that comes to mind.
The score.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I
Dave,
mean?
yeah,
But
What was
reaction.
wrong, Dave? Hold 9 yards.
Yeah.
That's funny. Where's the fuck?
And
go ahead,
Most
Anita.
most
to build
films,
on that-
most films that are shot in Montreal are like terrible. I think the only good film that was filmed in Montreal was The Score
Oh,
and
okay.
Rollerball.
What?
Rollerball. What the fuck?
So, Nita, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. Anita.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say to build on what Anthony was saying about like showcasing like Montreal as a character. I agree. There's there's a lot of meat to the city, and maybe not the same kind of meat as New York has, but give me like any movie or documentary about New York in the 1980s, and I'm like a moth going toward the light. Like I don't care what it is, I'm gonna watch it, and it might be terrible. I don't know. I can't even like absorb it objectively because just watching anything based in New York in the 1980s is like incredible for me because the city itself is just another character, and I already like the character, and I feel like Montreal could be that because it has
Yes.
so much.
Yes.
Like I feel like I'm overusing the word, but it has so much character. And
Montreal has all kinds of character.
its population and its architecture, and its culture, like
For me,
we need to cash in on this.
oh yeah, no, absolutely. But for me, since we're always talking about Montreal being a setting, for me, what it is, the more, and like I'm exploring the film world and using cities as certain characters. For me, and this is where Peter and I on Dirty Four we have our open mics. Like, it's the old port of Montreal. I just know, like every time I'm walking around there, when I get lost or when I just, I'm just going for a stroll, I don't know, there's something about the old port that, I'm going to sound crazy right now, but it actually talks to me, because it has so much history, and it could have so much history. Like, it could have so much violence as well, because, I find there's a lot of stories that could be taking place in the old port, So for me,
there and there are a lot of places. I mean, I just feel like it's rare that people tap into it, and I even hate saying it now, talking about it, that it's out there, because I think we have yet to there's a lot that I would like to do in terms of showing Montreal. You know what I mean? But a lot of cool places that they normally don't show. Like, the old port for sure is magical, but I'm saying a lot of times when they film movies and it takes place in Montreal, you see a lot of the old port. A lot of, like, you know what I mean? But
I want to see the refineries in RDP.
Right,
the ins and outs, that too.
Yeah, but here's the thing, again, if we're gonna talk about showing Montreal, I mean, if you're gonna film a movie now in Montreal, and if you're planning on going downtown, the only thing you can use is a street, are the trees. You can film the New World Part 2. That's the only thing I'm gonna get, or a new Jurassic Park movie. But just everywhere downtown, I just find it sad. So that's like, there's a movie called Clouds that I was in. I was an extra. It's a story about a teenage boy who's battling cancer, and I was an extra, and I played a guy selling random artifacts on the streets of the old port, and I was the same guy on the streets of Montreal. I'm telling you, filming the same guy. Well, I was in different leather jackets. I think I stole one of the leather jackets from that set. Filming the same character on the streets of Montreal and the Old Port, totally different atmosphere. It's sad. Like, to me, I find it really sad, because when you're seeing Montreal, like, oh man, this is great, like different locations, but you're still in the city, but you're filming at two ends of the block. I'd say I'm like, I don't know, I don't know how to feel about this. I prefer the Old Port, the settings of the Old Port, much better than here.
Yeah, I guess
And,
depends the context of what you're shooting, right?
yeah.
That's true. I mean, they were walking and he was crying. At first, I thought, why is this 20-year-old crying? Why is he bald? Like, that's what came to my mind. But then the producer told me, no, he's suffering from cancer. He's supposed to be suffering from cancer. I'm like, that makes sense. I'm gonna go back into my corner.
Just Montreal and Quebec in general. I mean, we have a variety of locations that we never used. Like, you know what? Literally, you can make it up to be nice. I mean, it doesn't have to be how it looks now. I mean, you can do things with it. Park extension, the plateau. There's so many areas in the plateau you can shoot that. I like to see a story take place in the plateau. Well,
Maybe
why can't
a post-apocalyptic movie in the plateau or downtown now?
now? Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Hell yeah.
You know what? You know the next film that we have to film. Well, in the next film, Anthony, that we're gonna film, we'll use downtown. Like, one street will be all covered construction, and we wind up like in the forest. Like, oh damn!
Just film yourself trying to find parking. That's the best.
Night shift two.
Detour.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh, man, it's so sad. So I have a question again. Going back to Night Shift. So where do you see Night Shift going?
Okay, so here's the thing, okay? We talk about this all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like all of our short films are when they do a number of things for us.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, they keep us in the loop. We enter film festivals. We try to connect with people, and basically, these films are our calling cards. It builds our portfolio. It showcases what we can do as a group. But also, I really feel like you take one of the short films and they're also calling cards for potential feature films. So like a short like Night Shift, Joe and I were talking about it, and I had mentioned it to David and Anita, that at some point, if someone's interested in the short, it could easily be a feature. And the proof is with the short, The Engagement. So we had The Engagement as a short film, and we basically turned it into a feature, and now we have a feature that could potentially be produced, and that's why we do these films. I mean, they're there as a piece of art, but also there's a lot of potential to go in more than one direction with this project. Like, it doesn't end at the short. And so there's a lot of story there that you can mine from that short. It can be a feature, easily be a feature. And Joe and I, in terms of like working on a story, it's there. The feature's there. And basically that's what they are. You know what I mean? So
Absolutely.
The next step is always, can we make it into a feature? Is there anybody interested in making it into a feature?
That's the hurdle.
That's the
Yeah.
That's the one where, hey everyone, I like this much money to make this movie into a feature. Please give it to me and take a risk. I'm like, no.
But here's the thing. The thing, when we worked out, actually the group did a great job in working out the budget for, let's say, The Engagement short when it's as a feature. Mm-hmm. And you're always like sort of, in my opinion, you're working out the budget of a feature so that if you end up doing the feature, one, you want it to do well as artistically, but two, you're hoping that it does something financially and it's marketable. And I really do believe that like a project like the Engagement can do well as a feature,
I think it can do well. I think that.
Yeah,
I think
and-
with
and
what
be
we see
marketable.
with what we see on Netflix and on streaming these days, we see things that are in the same vein as the engagement.
Yeah.
So
Only,
it's a matter
And
of
better.
for me.
giving it to a person.
But
Pardon
here's the
me?
thing, though. Here's the thing, okay? Joe and I were communicating with, I'm not going to say his name, we're communicating with a producer who was talking about films like Nightshift, okay? And he's currently working on a film, an action film that was, Joe, I forget what the number was, but it was millions of dollars. And they were literally saying, he was literally saying, oh, well, nowadays we're injecting money into this particular film. It's worth like $10 million, and we're worried about making, breaking even. And you and I immediately said, like, why are you making this film for seven, 8, or $10 million? You know what I mean? So basically, you can make that, let's say, that type of night shift revenge movie for maybe $1 million or less.
Yeah.
And then you ensure that the movie will most likely be successful. And we can't comprehend what, unless you're getting like actors that are, that you have to pay $2-3 million, which in my opinion, when he was talking about certain actors, I don't know what they were paying them, but I'm saying, these types of films, like horror films, action, revenge films, you don't need known actors to be successful. You know what I mean? It's like these people are looking for the genre. They're looking for the story, the film. It's like
Right.
they're not looking for a particular actor to be in it. And so if you make the movie for less, your chances of success, marketability and profit is more likely to happen. But this guy's like, in this time of the pandemic, like during this pandemic, we're worried that this $10 million film is going to break even. And Joe and I are just like, we're just wondering, how is this possible that you're even investing $10 million into a film that potentially might not break even?
Yeah, exactly. But no, that's, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's to me, it just blows my mind. How you have like hardworking people, like you have the idea, you have the short, and you even have it as evidence, and people are like, well, we're doing this other film that's like 10-15, and I'm like, well,
We contacted another producer that when we gave him the pitch for the engagement.
Yeah.
Well, we don't do things like that. It's hard to find money for projects like this. And I'm like, really? If I click on my TV right now, some film got picked up from Sundance for how many millions of dollars that they paid $200,000 for?
Yeah.
And you're telling me that this film here that has the potential to be really, really good, and we're not tooting our horn.
No,
I believe the project can be good. I believe the project is a viable, excellent project.
Well, it's going to be great, yeah.
And it flabbergasts me that we get responses like that. Like, we send letters out to people, and with the idea, the pitch, the fact that we have a budget proposal, and to hear that not interested.
No, but also also that they're saying that, and if we are interested in doing a film like that, I'm going to go with something that I have. Okay, yeah. I mean, so that basically tells you that they're not looking at, they're simply not interested in looking at new talent or up and coming talent. They'd rather work with whatever they have in house.
One of the guys even said it. I'm not working with first time people anymore.
Yeah, for whatever reason.
Come on, that's a bit hurtful in a way, but it is.
No, it's not. You know what? I and we talk about this all the time. It's not. You can't be hurt by it because it's nothing personal. I know for a fact that these guys are not looking at the stuff we send them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just basically, it's what they're going with. And it's a shame because there are a lot of filmmakers out there, a lot of writers out there, a lot of talents out there in Montreal specifically, independent filmmakers that are really good, that are not getting an opportunity because people are not willing to take a chance on that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And you know what?
Unfortunately.
Yeah, I know. And I know I was on the same boat. There's like, I was planning on doing a film with a buddy of mine. he got very discouraged because, well, we created a film a while ago. It was like a little crappy film that we made in college, but we're like, hey, you know what? Let's rework the script, let's rework the idea. So then we were pitching it, like, and this is a time where we had a job, but we just couldn't afford to have it. And that's how, let's pitch it to a producer. And producer was literally saying, hey, you know what, like we don't do these kind of films, or you know what, that it's not a great idea. Or you would ask the question, why would you do this, right? And then to add a little bit more dramatic story, we went to a bank. We were ready to get a loan at the bank, and even the person who was going to give us the loan, she was like, "Oh, so you guys get paid for doing movies?" Asking a question. So you guys get paid for by producers when they give you money? And then I'm like,
Yes.
yeah, and this is the thing that I hate. Like when you're going and get money the right way, going loan for it, right? Like there's always people who don't understand what the entertainment industry is. There's a podcaster. His name is Pentel's podcast. He invested all his money to making a studio. So when he went to go find a studio to get money for it, the girl said the same thing with a different girl, and she said, "Oh, you get money. You make money in entertainment. You make money in comedy. Can you do that? So how does it work? Do you get $1 per sketch that you say?" And Pantel's like, "Well, what the fuck are you doing?" And going back to what I was saying as well, I'm like, man, I was feeling hurt. The fact that the girl said you get paid for making movies, I'm like, then why are we here?
What? Sorry, I didn't interrupt.
No, go ahead, Peter. What were you saying?
No, I was just wondering, okay, obviously that way is I don't know that situation with it, but do you ever guys consider maybe doing a short, a bunch of shorts, maybe 5-minute shorts on YouTube, but make it a series?
Yeah,
on,
to make
just
it.
Have your have a channel.
Joe's talked about that.
I said I always said that we can make a feature. We can make almost like a feature style film, where you cut it up into 5-minute segments.
Yeah. That's what I was saying.
Something like that basically something serialized that follows.
Yeah. And get a fan base going.
Do that.
Yeah.
But going back to what Claudio said, I mean, we can all take loans and make our own movie. But we're gonna take loans of what, $20,000 each, and have $100,000 movie that we're not gonna sell. You can't take that risk.
Yeah, that's a big.
That's the thing. But I was just close into doing it, but then when she said those words, I'm like,
no, you got the interest on those loans. Forget that.
Yeah.
Divorce is expensive.
Yeah. I remember, obviously it's a comedy, so comedy usually hits with everybody. But I remember that movie. They did it on. It's called Kung Fury.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if you heard it, but he pretty much threw it out there. Now he gets 30 million views. 30 million views. He's just getting YouTube money, and then everybody's eyes on the product type thing.
Yeah.
And then he starts doing the music videos, the making of it, just building a whole fan base. So it's almost making a universe. So I was just wondering if would you guys do let's say it's Nightshift, and then your other movie, would you make it a universal, almost like the movies intertwine type thing?
Yeah, look,
I mean, there's always possibility of doing that. We can look at that.
Well, look,
I think now though, to get money, we have to use this. What we're looking at right now.
Yeah.
Exactly.
To talk. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
No worries. No worries. I was listening to you.
Okay, so I was actually. You just made a good points there, Peter. We were talking about the engagement as well, and I also. So Joe and I were talking about expanding the engagement and making it into a series, because again, the engagement, there's a lot going on there as well. Mm-hmm. And yeah, it's a good idea, making shorter segments and sort of and with all these shorter segments, putting them together and making making the project into a series is possible. Nightshift, if you expand it and sort of make it, you sort of make a number of shorts, and then you can make it into a feature. That's possible.
Yeah.
But
it all depends on what you want to do.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like it's like you said, you suggested before, like kind of with the Godfather. Like you could have like a prequel to both movies and make that the series. So you're seeing the ending, and then but like the beginning is like nobody knows how it leads into Night Shift.
I could see Night Shift like that. I could see structuring Night Shift that way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I
possible.
agree. But
But-
go ahead. No, go ahead.
Sorry, Claudio, but I was gonna say, but that's the thing. With let's say Night Shift, the engagement, when we're working with so we're working with actors that are willing to put in the time and they're willing to work with us because they want to work with us, and they enjoy the story. But the thing is, in order to make this, if you want someone, let's say you want to do it with Massimo again, now we have Massimo as the face of Night Shift, right?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, so now it's like we want to make it into, let's say, a series. We want to make it into a feature. Now we got to fit it into not only our schedule, Anita's, Joe's, mine, David's, but you have a whole cast of people that you essentially have to work in. And here you don't really have a budget. You don't really have it. You understand that? You know what I mean? It becomes complicated when you
You can
try
make an
to
anthology Night Shift. You can make it an
Right?
anthology. The Night Shift doesn't have to be about Massimo. You can do like
Oh,
an
yeah,
like
for
American
sure.
Horror Story, another story that takes place in the same universe as Night Shift.
Absolutely. And look, just to touch upon that, Claudio, not too long ago, basically did something like that, where he worked in my opinion, could easily be in the anthology in the vein of Night Shift. He basically came to me with a story in the vein of Night Shift, not the same story, but it's sort of in that world. And I liked it so much that we wrote the screenplay together. He wrote the story, we wrote the screenplay together. Now we have this project there that could easily be what Peter was saying, what you're saying, Peter. Just a series of like, those themed stories in one sort of
One unit,
anthology, and keep going with that. But essentially, at the end of the day, what we're looking for is an opportunity to create a feature film where you have it's like a viable, marketable piece of work where you can get it out there into film markets in Europe and in the United States and other, wherever, you know what I mean? So we can keep going on this until something hits, obviously. And most likely we should, and we will. It's not like we don't. We keep on doing it.
You're gonna
We keep
hit
on
it.
working
You're
on
gonna
it.
hit it for sure.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, you look at people like Martin Scorsese, or you look at Oliver Stone, or you look at, and the list goes on and on. Like Brian De Palma and other great filmmakers, incredible filmmakers. They had to start somewhere, and it's like they all had in some way or another. They all had mentors. They all had people who vouched for them, or they all had people who, in some way, had, like even Quentin Tarantino had Lawrence Bender.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where someone had to be there with access to money and let these people do their thing creatively. And once they got their stuff out there, without Roger Corman, without someone like Francis Ford Coppola helping George Lucas and all the other filmmakers that sort of came along with George Lucas, without these guys, they were really struggling. They were these guys are worth billions of dollars today. You know what I mean? They make movies that rack in billions of dollars. But at the beginning, it's like you speak to Scorsese, and at the beginning of his career, he was always depressed about getting. Sorry, Anita, go ahead.
Someone needed to take a chance on them.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Exactly. Yeah, but yeah, see, and this goes back to me being discouraging a little bit. Because when you're trying to put your stuff out there, it's like and again, this goes also. I'm also using stand-up comedy as an example, right? And Peter and I know this too. Like we see a lot of funny, talented comedians, right? But then there are some people they're like, well, I'm gonna pick this guy, but we're all like, but we're both like, yo, like, why the hell, like, is this guy fine? I don't understand what the hype is. I mean, Peter and I were like we know a comedian that we're talking about. We're not gonna say his name. Right. Every time Peter sees him, he's like, what's the hype on this guy?
Yeah.
Why?
It's not Massimo, right?
No. Actually, Massimo.
Massimo was funny.
Massimo, before we continue, I just like to say, the reason why I love this film is because Massimo helped me a lot. I mean, besides the Dirty Four and Kyle Moore from Offbeat and Sid Kohler, Massimo was the one who literally told me, "Hey, you know what? You're Italian. You're loud. You're annoying. Use that voice. Don't be shy. Yeah, I know. Don't be shy. Don't be scared. Like, you know what? You're a funny-looking guy. You're a funny guy. Go ahead and just be yourself. And it's thanks to him that I have courage. Like if it wasn't for everyone, including him, I would still be like, so guys, do you like stuff?
Yeah, no, for sure. You know what? And I was gonna say, I mean, obviously you're gonna always feel in some way or another like, why him and not me? Okay, whatever. I think, but also at the same time, you have to even as a comedian, the thing about comedians that I like is that nobody's going to. You basically have to get out there and do it yourself. And in that respect, we're doing the same thing. So it doesn't matter. Like I'm all for people who are just doing their thing and for whatever reason they are able to get their stuff out there and it ends up working for them and they end up getting paid for what they do and all power to them. And so I think that what's working for us is when we started working together, I immediately saw us turning corners. Like, I mean, when we initially started, we immediately decided that whatever projects we were going to do, we're going to start working with union actors, because we knew if we were going to start working with union actors, then we were going to be taken seriously. Two, we were entering a new circle, like a circle of people that were working in the business, and basically that legitimizes us as filmmakers, as artists, as producers, because if those people are working with us, then that we build our reputation through that. And at the same time, it's also about being, falling into one circle, but also networking so you can fall into a bigger circle until you get to the point where someone's going to say, okay, let's invest this much into our film. So if I mean, there's that as well. You know what I mean? Like you have to work your way towards that. So at some point, if we keep at it, in my opinion, sooner or later, things are going to pan out, and they have. I mean, to a certain extent, they have. And it's going well. You know what I mean? And so the thing that we have going for us is that we keep making these projects that keep making sort of little waves for us. Yeah. And sooner or later, I know that at some point something has to give. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, of course. Oh no, the award you won with was it the Couch turn? Was it the Couch?
The Couch Film Festival, the Alternative Film Festival.
Yeah, like that's huge, man. I was like, you guys should be proud of that. And then there's more eyes on the product. There's more eyes on the product. Same thing. Like because I know Claudio said that. I don't know which comic he's talking about, but I remember there was a girl. I forget her name, but she just recently got a Netflix special as a comedian, but she was just doing TikTok videos, and now she has an hour special on Netflix.
It's atrocious.
That's great, but you see, Claudio, you know what? I don't know about that person, but you see, it's people like that though that inspire you
to do it. Yeah, of course.
Forward.
Absolutely.
Then you say, okay, it is possible. You know what I mean? So it's just a matter of like you and these people that make it, you kind of like you learn from them. Like, what did she do or what did he do to get there? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So sooner or later, if you're able to like sort of get that combination right, sooner or later, it could happen for you.
Like you guys got the product. You guys got the product. All you need to do is just like hit that. You know what I mean?
Guys, just say David had to leave. His phone died.
Oh, okay. Oh no.
Yeah. I was gonna say it's tons of hard. I mean, and obviously you guys know too, right? It's tons of hard work, but that's not enough. You need that
you need
thrown in there to get your hard work recognized.
Exactly, but that's exactly right, Anita.
Just luck is not going to cut it, and for a lot of things, just hard work isn't going to cut it either. You need.
Oh yeah, no, that's the thing. You need hard work, and not only do you need hard work, but you
Work
need like
smart,
a team. Yeah, you need like a team who are going to be at you. Look, there's definitely going to be disagreements, right? In every group, whether it's film or whether it's a podcast, you're always going to have disagreements, right? But hey, you know what? We try to please each other as much as we can, but at the end, as long as we have the final product, that's what's important.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
If you're working in an echo chamber and you have one stupid idea, and then everyone's gonna echo that stupid idea, you're gonna make a stupid project. You know what I mean?
I've been in a few of those. Yeah.
You want to be working with people who have, a common goal as you do,
Yeah.
but also who are, different and not afraid to speak their minds, because you can bounce ideas off each other, and eventually that's how you get to, your final product. I'm sure there's going to be like, disagreements, arguments, whatever, but it's
all part of the plan.
It's all part of the plan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
part of the game. Yeah.
Sorry, we're gonna say something, Claudio.
No, I was gonna say I like I'm agreeing with what Anita and what you guys are saying.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and Anita's completely right. And so and basically that's where we're at. Like we know that whatever we're doing is working. So and I think we're at a point where we're doing these projects, and we know more or less that these projects. Whether it's like, one of us starts saying, okay, I have an idea for this, and I think this could be a good one. And then it's sort of like that person starts to say his or her idea, and then it catches on with everybody else. And then all of a sudden, okay, now we're working on this project and we have a good feeling about it. And usually, lately it's all been working out great in terms of like the project that we've created and where they go. It's very positive. But something that Anita was saying, it's also like there's another art to it. Like it's also connecting with people. Like that is so important as well. Like, I mean, being able to connect with that one person eventually, that will get us to another level, to make us turn another corner, is what we're looking for at this point. We're at a point where we know that the projects we create can do special things, can win festivals because we've done it, and we know that they can potentially be viable products, marketable products. It's just now we're at a point where we're trying to figure out, the people that can sort of help us get us to the next level, which is producing those feature films.
But also, I noticed like there's a lot of like, even though you have like the Amazon, Netflix are the biggest streaming services, there's a lot of like these other streaming services that are just popping out now.
Yes, and we're talking about that. Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was just saying. Yeah, I started noticing. Like, I'm like, oh, it looks like actually like a feature film, but like less known actors and whatever. But I don't know if they have like bundles, like with like kind of like how Crave has HBO and all those type of. So I don't know if these lower ones could like connect to like, let's say Disney, so then you could like, so now you have like a foot in the door type thing.
And awesome. That would be awesome. But see, that's also another thing that we've been talking about. We do talk about, but it's also like time too. It's like it also takes time to sort of do the research and get all of our stuff together and apply or send the package over to a company. But eventually, like these are things that we are contemplating, we are doing. But it's also like time and energy that it takes, not because we don't want to do it, but also like it's that too is a process. You know what I mean?
Of course,
it's like it's not only like you end up making the film, okay, and that takes so much time and energy and effort. Then you have the product. Then it's just like Joe and I at times, like we don't even have time to like meet through via Zoom. It's like we have to meet. Yeah, we're gonna meet.
We're saying that for like a week and a half.
You know what I mean? And that's it. That's
where you take a shot every time somebody says like the catchphrase or whatever on the TV show. Yeah, well, you go through like our group WhatsApp every time. Like take a shot every time you read. Guys, we should really have a call. We should really meet.
Yeah,
we would all be like cameras.
No. When Anthony says, Claudio, we have to like go to the. I'm like, Well, it didn't happen. I'll wait on him.
Yeah, no, but it's true, and it's not because the intention is there, but the time that it's like we're limited also, and then when we do get together, so the last thing that we did, that was major, okay, was actually send the damn film Nightshift out to film festivals, which that we had. Okay, let's send it to this place, let's send it to that place, let's see what, and look, and now once we did that, it sort of worked out for us. But again, it's like we need a team of people doing all of these things, but we don't have the resources. We have each other, obviously, but at the same time, it's like our time is limited too, and it's like it's not easy.
Oh, absolutely no. It's absolutely. But hey, all right. So, does anyone else have anything to add in?
Mobster films. I completely forgot. No.
Yes.
Go ahead.
I'm joking. Forgot my fucking topic.
Actually, there's one. I'm not too sure if I'm saying it right because it was a French TV show that came on. I don't know if you know of the show called Omerta.
Omerta.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guido
I
was
remember
an
like.
extra in it.
Oh, you were an extra in that?
No, Guido Grasso. He was an extra.
That's a big thing in Quebec. That's one of Quebec's like most beloved series.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember like my French class, we had to like watch it, and I was actually enjoying the show, so I was like, oh, okay, this is.
But I'm glad you brought that up. Gangster movies, those types of films, particularly in Quebec, really do well.
Yeah,
I mean, they really do well, and
wow, okay, I didn't know that. Huh?
Like there was that one film with the last thing that René Angélil was in. Was it that like a remake?
It was
of
Omerta, yeah.
It was Omerta, but wasn't it a remake or what was it?
It was the movie. Omerta the movie.
Yeah,
okay, that's it. Omerta the movie with Patrick Huard.
Mm-hmm.
That did well. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, Patrick Huard was like
that did well, but it was not good.
Okay, but I'm saying
the only thing I remember from that movie is Guido going, "Hey, la pizza pre," and he puts it in a box. That's the only thing I remember is him at a cafe putting pizza in a box.
The stereotype.
Bon Cop, Bad Cop. That was a crime movie.
Yeah, but the second one was what the fuck?
That made millions.
Yeah.
God damn.
God damn it! It was second one.
Shoot.
Oh man.
Listen, I'll take their box office gross any day, even though it sucked.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh.
I mean, I'm sorry.
I'm curious. Now I'm curious.
You remember?
I got right here.
Or Mafia Inc. You know, that grows very well. I mean, it came out.
Remember, you're talking about Quebec box office, not Canadian box office.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
Quebec,
Bon Cop, Bad Cop grossed.
Oh yeah, that was
12 million, almost $13 million.
Shit.
and how much to make the movie?
Quebec.
No, that's Canada.
Okay.
If that made $12 million in Quebec, that means everyone probably had to see it in Quebec.
No, but I'm saying how much to make
the budget was $8 million.
Fantastic.
That's not bad.
That's
It's like a couple million over. It's okay. It's all right.
Yeah, exactly.
But again, for Canadian, like the budget of part 2 was higher, and the box office part 2 was a bomb.
Oh,
Yeah.
So,
Oh man, it was 13 years too late, and the thing is, like, I even called on it, and it's 13 years too late, and I'm like, if this came out 2-3 years later, I'm like, all right, cool, but now I'm like, ugh.
listen, the first one wasn't even that great.
No, it wasn't. But for me, like the first one was. I agree with you. It's not that great, but it still had. It was a fun movie. The second one, they tried way too hard to make it be an action movie.
But again, Quebec is fickle because Quebec can make some amazing films.
Oh yeah.
Oh, wow.
Because if you look at the Canadian film industry, majority of the good films are Quebec.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
You have Jean-Marc Vallée's Crazy, which I think is the best Quebec film ever made.
Yeah.
You have Denis Arcand stuff.
Yeah, crazy, but even Incendie.
Oh, awesome.
Oh man, the ending of Incendie
is nuts.
Nuts. Shit. I knew some extras on that movie, and they were like, they read the script and like, oh man, they had to shower for a few days, man.
No, it was really good.
That's how bad it is. That's how bad it was.
Well, listen, I got passes to go see the Rocket Richard movie, The Rocket, with Roy Dupree. It was excellent.
Yeah.
It was excellent. You want
And I like
you want to use Montreal? properly, that's how you use Montreal properly.
Okay,
Well,
I gotta check it out.
yeah.
I gotta
And
check it out.
period, too.
Well. See, this is the see. Now I'm coming back to Mafia Inc. That's why, like, not only because I was in it. I'm not saying because I'm all in it. I'm saying it's because
Shameless
that was
plug. Shameless
actually
plug.
exactly more like a pity plug. But I'm saying because when you watch Mafia Inc., like you're watching a trilingual movie, or you're watching English, French, Italian, and it's a mob movie from Montreal. You're watching. Okay, this takes place at here. This takes like it is a true story, but they switched it obviously.
Yeah.
But the setting is in Montreal. That bar like Eddie Chair. I'm like, oh god, I've been there a few times.
Yeah,
But
that I appreciate.
yeah, exactly. When you're watching this film, you're watching local Montreal actors and actresses.
Yeah.
By the way, did you know in Mafia Inc., when they when Dominic DeRosa and the two guys went to go visit the Greek guy Xenakis? Did you know who that secretary was?
Michaela.
Yeah, yeah. I'm like, I was looking. I'm like, she looks familiar. I'm like, oh shit, it's her. I didn't actually say in that high pitched voice, but
That movie made $800,000.
I know.
So we're not getting a sequel.
Yeah, but I think maybe the budget was that too.
Oh, could be. But I'm just like, hope they pre-sold it to Asia.
Well,
What's
actually,
the budget? Can anybody find the budget?
Well, actually, here's the thing. I've been talking. Well, I mean, I don't know if I should mention this live, but
Maybe
yeah.
you shouldn't.
No, I shouldn't.
Actually, okay. Well, I'll throw out an Asian film. You guys watch? You obviously watch. I don't know if you watch actually. Battle Royale.
Yeah.
No.
If David were here, that's one of his favorite films.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, Battle Royale is good. But then they made yeah, but then the American version is, right?
That's the one with Stone Cold, right?
No,
Lawrence.
yeah, Hunger Games.
Yeah.
No, Hunger Games.
No, it's not. Hunger Games is based on a book.
A book.
Yeah, no. But
there's a Stone
people
Cold
are
one.
saying, Condemned. That is Condemned.
Condemned.
Condemned is the one. Yeah, it's like we had like the prisoners.
Yeah, then they have Condemned 2 and 3. Just don't watch 2 and 3. But no, going back to because I can't believe this, and this is why I'm pissed about the series. When the Hunger Games came out, like it's the battle royale of North America, and I'm like, ugh. And then I went to go see the second one, and it was 2 hours and 20 something minutes. I was with my ex-girlfriend, and she goes, "I love this movie." I'm like, I can't fucking do this anymore. And I looked at my watch; it was like 40 minutes in. I'm like,
I just said I had to go to the bathroom and just went home. I just
listen, man.
Listen,
Guys,
any
did you
which way.
find the budget for Mafia Inc.?
I couldn't find the budget. Any which way. I need for the engagement, we need a fraction, a quarter of that, not even a quarter of that. I need the catering budget, and I can make the engagement.
Yeah, you know what? I always think about Robert Rodriguez. Like when he made, you guys know the book Rebel Without a Crew?
Yeah, he made it for $7,000.
Yeah, exactly. And I remember he was on a panel, I think, for his film El Mariachi before it was Desperado.
Oh shit! Okay.
El Mariachi.
El Mariachi was the film he made for $7,000. That's on a shoestring budget. He made that feature, which was awesome. He was asked, "What would you do with $1 million if they give you $1 million? Would you make a better El Mariachi?" He would say no. He said no. I take $100,000 and make 10 movies, and sort of
keep the rest.
Yeah, exactly. That's basically
Basically, after the payment of the actors, you can make the movie you can make the engagement for a certain amount of money that's not astronomical. It's everything that happens afterwards. That's adding up.
Yeah, promoting the film and everything. Yeah.
Actually, everything post-production on is where the money comes in. You can actually actual production of the film for under, I don't know, a certain amount that will break the bank.
Absolutely.
But I keep bringing up Edward Burns and Neighbors, Newlyweds. Edward Burns shot his film for $9,000.
Yeah.
The movie cost $100,000 with marketing and sound and mixing and promotion and stuff.
Yeah,
but he actually made the film for $9,000 with one camera, one sound guy, and 4 actors.
Oh man, and here I was talking with Anthony about the next film. I'm like, So what's the budget we're gonna have? And then he's like, oh man, we're gonna need
$3.
props. $5 prop. Oh shit, $5. We're gonna.
What was the?
We've never spent more than what, a couple $100 on a film. I'm not saying it. I'd rather spend more, but you don't need more to deal with the stories we have. I mean, I don't have a UFO or a dinosaur I'm going to use.
I mean, you could just go into downtown. We go in the forest there, and we're like, and we just have we shake the trees. And like, oh man, they're coming.
You don't need it.
Exactly. Like make believe, and then we'll have Peter Bowen voicing, "It's coming from the bushes."
It's always
exactly.
In Montreal.
You guys were taking this to overtime. What's happening here?
Oh no! Actually, we're gonna actually we went over. Yeah, we're supposed to do this for an hour and a half. Then we went 2 hours and
That's because it was awesome.
It is. Hey guys, if you guys have anything to add, go ahead, please. Be our guests. If you guys want to talk about anything, we're here for a while, man. If you want to.
34 wants to be the corporate sponsor of any of our feature films.
That's what it is.
Meet us in the comments, please. Add that. Address in the comments.
We're not accepting $5 Canadian Tire money. We're actually real money.
No, screw that. You do GoFundMe.
Stop the Canadian Tire. I'll take the Canadian Tire money.
Oh shoot!
Yeah. Well, we have to rob that giant bubble they got at the cash.
Yeah.
All the money in.
Oh my God.
$35. Great.
The next plot, the next storyline.
Actually, that would be an awesome idea.
Producers that need money to make a movie, and they don't know no one's gonna fund their movie, and so they plan a heist to steal the big ball at Canadian Tire.
Actually, funny. AJ. Funny that you mentioned that. I actually wrote a similar story to that today. So basically, I'm like, how can these three people they want to make a porn film, right? But they're just people like
it's already been done.
No, hold on. Here's the thing.
Yeah,
so,
I did see that movie actually. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Hold on.
Right?
No. But this has a different twist. Hold on, hear me out. This is the best twist ever. So three guys that want to make a porn movie, right? But they can't afford to pay a porn actress. So what they do is that they kidnap the porn actress, right? And then they try to film the porn film, but then everything like goes to like shit because
it always does, Claudio. It always does.
It sounds like Taken.
Taken mixed with that Seth Rogen. Oh man. I'm like, guys, write this down. I'm kidding. No, I'm not gonna. No. Oh man. So all right. So everyone, Peter, is there anything else you want to add to this awesome night?
Well, no, it was great. No, just the congratulations again to the legends here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You guys did your thing, and yeah, man, and for everybody else, I saw some people in the chat were like, "Oh, we're clean today. We're going to keep it calm. We wanted if we could just joke around, have fun with these guys. Tomorrow, you could talk about your shenanigans with the porn and everything.
Exactly.
Unless you want to go into porn movies, then that's different. That's we can.
I got
nothing. You can have us back on the show after we make a porn movie.
Yeah,
absolutely. All right, so it's time for the plugins, I guess.
Plugins, it is. Lonely Path Films. Anything you want to plug in again?
So we were like the thing that I like is that lately we've been in the news, like local news, like Laval News basically interviewed me about Nightshift, and I really enjoyed Anita's interview in Corriere Italiano newspaper. Her interview in that newspaper meant a lot because that particular newspaper has been around for a long time.
Yeah.
And to be, to have an opportunity to, be in there because it's been a part of the Italian Canadian community for like forever, right? I mean, since the 50s, I think.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
nice.
So it's an old newspaper, and for us to be in there, that was a pleasure to have us in there. And
Beautiful.
and I think Anita did a great job. So if you get a chance to take a look at the
It's
article,
on the Lonely Path Facebook page if you guys want to read that.
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah,
That's
I
cool.
added
Or
that.
Peter, if you want Claudio to translate it, you can look at it there.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure, right?
So no, it's all there, and I put the links for you. If you guys Facebook and YouTube, if you look, I put the links to Lonely Path Films. I put them on for Instagram, Facebook,
Yeah.
and the YouTube page that they
Thank you.
have. No
And the
problem,
Laval-
guys.
And the Laval
And-
thing too, the Laval article
Uh,
and
They're
everything.
all there.
Yeah, it's in the
Yeah,
feed.
yeah,
Yeah, it's in the link.
yeah.
So, folks, when this movie comes out, these are amazing people. They're awesome and motivating people, and yeah. So watch out. So watch out when Night Shift comes out. They'll say when,
Yeah.
and that's it. And then for
And-
us, yeah, what are you saying, Peter? Go ahead.
No, I'm gonna say they're gonna take over the game. That's what I was gonna say. They're gonna
Yeah,
take
right.
over.
Take over the Montreal film scene. We already have Sid taking over Montreal. Goddamn, they'll take over. They'll be Sid
Take it
taking
all over, man.
Yeah, and then
God
for
damn.
us for the Dirty Four, if you didn't subscribe to our page, go ahead and do so now. Leave a comment and join us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and we're also on Twitch. And next week we're going to be on Podbean Podcast and Apple Podcast. And tomorrow night, Robert DeLesto is going to be on. We're going to chat with him. Sunday night, Santi Espinoza, all the way from New York. And that's it, folks. So that's the Dirty
Oh,
Four.
it's on Sunday, huh? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I got the construction. Well, whatever. I'm gonna pop in, but got that Dorval construction, man. It's cutting out my power. God.
Goddamn,
old
Peter.
Montreal.
Peter Bill's on time, huh? All
No,
right,
tell
so-
Montreal to pay their bills on time.
Montreal don't take shit.
Yeah. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, this has been a great episode. Thank you to everyone who tuned in. Thank you to
AJ.
AJ
Thank you, guys.
Jess
Appreciate it.
Sorrell,
Thank you.
Melly's up, people on Facebook. Thank you so
Thank
much. Thank you, and have a great night, and have a great weekend, and
It's what
stay
it
safe,
is.
everybody. See you tomorrow night and Sunday night. Ciao.